Yo, what is up? What is up, boxing family? It's your man Sean Zittel here from the elaborate, illustrious studios in Las Vegas. But I'm jumping in right into it. Round three here. Adam Azim, British prospect who has a lot of hype coming out of the United Kingdom, fighting America's Curtis Scooby. My guy Kurt Scooby has been on the Porter Way podcast a number of times, but has kind of just been handcuffed early on by Azim's jab, Azim's superior hand speed and movement, but now they trade right hands and Azim lands his, but Scooby's starting to pick it up a little bit. Curtis Scooby, my mistake. Scooby's starting to pick it up a little bit here early in the third round, starting to let his hands go a little bit more and apply a little bit more pressure to Azim and getting a little bit closer to Azim in the first minute of this third round. So let's see what we get. But Azim with that British Pakistani background, kind of like Amir Khan, Hamza Shiraz. Got long punches, good hand speed, and got off to a good start in this fight. Oh, good counter check left hook there by Adam Azim off the move, shifting his feet around in the center of the ring and walking Scobie into a check left hook about halfway through this third round. But let's see what we get out of here. Azim is. Let's see if he can make believers here stateside in the United States, because he's got hype over there, but now he's fighting an American fighter who hardcore boxing fans know about a little bit, in Kurt Scobie. So let's see what we get here. Good left hook to the body by Adam Azim, keeping everything tight and composed early. Now he's touching with his jab up top. Nice right uppercut off the jab, throwing that up jab from really from the chest, not from the hip right now. Adam Azim is stepping over really nice to his left, out of his high guard, showing a couple different stances and looks. Scobie short with his jab, trying to double it and step in. Azim resets his feet, touches with a few shots up top. Good hand speed, but Scobie keeping the hands up to block what's coming his way. 45 seconds left in the third round. And Azim doing a good job in the center of the ring right now. Not being excessive or wasteful with his movement. Just stepping around, taking little angles, keeping it tight defensively. And I like the little left hook to the body here and there by Adam Azim in close. But Azim just doing a good job stepping off, stepping around to his left right now, working behind his jab, taking his time, seeing what openings are there behind Kurt Scobie's high guard. Stepping around again with his jab to his left, just touching that high guard, poking and prodding. Azim dropping that lead hand down a little bit out of the high guard to his hip, shoots a jab to the body. That's going to do it for round three. But what's going on, everybody? What's up, Marvelous? What's up, Case of Diamante? Palm Tree One. What's up, everybody? We got a long ways ahead of us. Jack Catterall, Ecal, Essiman. Man, I'm just kind of tripping out on boxing as usual. There are 10 cards in the United States today. 10 professional boxing cards, about 80 fights. And none of us know about them. They're not on TV anywhere. It just brings me to the realization that basically the boxing we see that makes it to networks or streaming services, you're seeing the top 1% of the sport. Because think about that for a minute. There's about 80 professional boxing matches in the United States today. None of us know about them. None of us could probably name anybody who's on any of those cards. They're in California, Florida, Texas, all through Boardwalk Hall, where Mayweather and Gotti fought, has a card today. So, just kind of tripping on that. And then this is nothing new, but just seeing the way the UK, there isn't a single title fight on this card. And they're going to sell that place out, it looks like. And Adam Smith acts like every fight is the biggest fight in the world. And it's kind of corny to me, but then at the same time, the joke's on me, because I'm in a country where it's not even broadcasting a fight tonight. And the UK, they're so passionate about it that even if it's a mid-fight, like many of their fights are on these cards, they have such passion for the sport. So, just a few things to think about. But, all right, Azim keeping it in the center of the ring, 45 seconds into the fourth round, stepping around a little bit. Would like to see Azim be first and last here. He's got that hand speed advantage, a little bit more fluid getting off combinations than Scobie. Maybe poke with that jab, prod with that jab, initiate something, and then counter what's coming back and punctuate it. But you know, he's doing a good job early in the 4th round right now. He's getting off first. He's able to get off first against Scobie, who's plodding forward, keeping his hands up. And Azim, not super accurate by Azim. And that's why, easier said than done, but you'd like to see him counterpunch and punctuate exchanges a little bit more. You know, or you know, his jab is, even when it's, you know, getting caught on the high guard, it's effective. There's good defense there in the pocket by Azim, rolling out of the way of a few shots by Scobie, who finally got him to stay in front, in close for a minute there, but Azim moved his head off the line. Now Azim moves his head off the line, clinches Scobie. Scobie getting a little dirty, putting his head into the chest, and the referee's going to warn Scobie of his head right there. And Scobie just a little frustrated, trying to rough up this British kid, trying to make it a little bit rough because he can't handle him in the center of the ring with the skills. So, nice double jab by Azim, touching the high guard, hooks off of it, but nothing really getting through for Azim too clean right now because Scobie's keeping his hands home. Scobie gets close with a jab to the body. Scobie lets a right hand go over the top. Azim ducks out of the way of that, but some of it catches him and he clinches. Azim on his head movement, he doesn't always keep his eyes up on the target. Sometimes he's getting his eyes off the target with his slips. Right there, Azim dropping the lead hand all the way to his waist. Moves, good feet, moves out of range, makes Scobie fall short. Now he comes back in the center of the ring, lets his hands go, touches up top, and sweeps a right hand to the body. That right hand to the body got in good. But, yeah, Scobie's going to get a point taken away here. Or, no, he's getting a second warning for his headbutting. Scobie got to not let frustration get the best of him because, you know, he doesn't seem, well, he hasn't been caught clean, but the power's not bothering him, and he's getting close to Azim. Azim just missed that pull count. Azim's speed is handcuffing Scobie in the center of the ring. He can get off first. He can make Scobie keep his offense at home. But Scobie has had a couple of moments there where he did get close to Azim, and Azim had to clinch. Azim had a couple of, let's call them, unclean slips where he kept his eyes off the target, got out of the way. So don't get frustrated. You got 6 more rounds to work with, and you're getting close to this guy in spots. But if you let frustration get the better of you, this is going to be all night long. Azim's in control right now. Marvelous Irv said, approaching 40K subs. Congrats. Appreciate it, Marvelous. Adam Smith is a Muppet, as we call him in the UK. Does that mean like a company man kind of thing too? A shill, a NPC, as the kids would call them now, kind of? You know what, though? I got to give it to him. He's doing the job. He's doing the job. He makes every fight, tries to make every fight feel like a big deal and give it meaning. And, you know, he's technically doing the right thing. He's trying to make you care about hometown rivalries, the British title. He's giving it all stakes and merit and care. So he's actually doing a good job, but we can't help but kind of rag on him time to time. Richard Rapico! So here we go. Adam Azim. Just up 4-zip on Carl Frampton's card on the zone. He's got, he's just handcuffing Scobie in the center of the ring. Quick jab to the body. Scobie's pull right hand. Too slow. And before he knows it, Azim comes back with 3 punches. All Scobie can do is keep his hands at home so he doesn't get lit up by the superior hand speed of Adam Azim. He's going to, you know, timing has to beat speed. He has to time Azim here. But Azim has good feet, good length. He switches up his looks a little bit, drops the lead hand to his hip, then he picks his hands back up out of the high guard. But that right hand is getting close to Azim. Scobie's got 12 rounds to work with. He's got to stay composed in there and make his moments count. Know the right time to step in. He can't just wait all night on a pull right hand. You know, he could land that shot in some spots maybe, but he's going to have to be calculated with that step in behind that jab to the body. Right there, he stepped in with a jab to the body, but then he pulled out of the pocket, and Azim followed him out of the pocket with his own jab. So Scobie stepping in with his jab there, but Azim, it's easier said than done because Azim steps out of range when he takes that step inside behind the jab to the body. Good left hook to the body by Azim. I do like the little sweeping right hands and left hooks to the body that Azim is sniping here and there. because he's forcing Scobie to keep those hands up so much at home that he's sniping a few clean body shots here and there, but not catching Scobie up top a lot. Scobie right now doing a little taunting with a minute left in the fifth, making Azim reach and miss, fall short, and then taunting him a little bit. But Scobie, oh, good left hook to the body by Scobie. You could just look at their physiques. Scobie's the thicker guy and everything. Pause, whatever. Are we still doing that, or can we retire the pause shit? But, you know, he's the thicker, heavier guy. Not as quick as Adam Azim, but probably a little bit stronger and heavy-handed. And he just wants to time up Azim. Azim spamming the jab, flicking it out there 3, 4, 5, 6 times, just forcing Scobie to stay at bay, handcuffed with that high guard. Scobie now has Azim against the ropes, but Azim knows at that moment he's going to attack, clinches him quickly, doesn't really let him get off that much. And they're back in the center of the ring where Azim can just step around, do the step around game, get off first, and reset. And that's it for round 5. Scobie not really finding answers in there. A little bit lost at sea, getting turned by Adam Azim. So, yeah. What's up, Anthony Jackson? Says, what's up, my Brooklyn brother? What's up, Pito Fresh Escobar? What's up, brother? Secret Dance Move says Scobie will be knocked out by round 6 or 7. I don't think so. I don't think Adam Azim ain't flashing that power or accuracy, but maybe to the body. I think he is landing his best punches to the body right now because his movement and his speed is forcing Scobie to just stay right here at all times. So touch that body, maybe sneak him. But this is playing out like a fight where Azim's going to win a really wide decision, and Scobie's going to have a moment or two down the stretch when Azim's legs are a little heavy, but it's not going to be enough from Scobie. That's what this fight is playing out like right now, that at some point Scobie will get his chance to land the punches he's looking for, but Azim will roll them, slip them enough, not get caught clean enough, clinch enough, buy time enough, and then he'll get his legs back underneath him and finish a wide unanimous decision. That's what it feels like we're headed for. So here we are in the 6th. What's up, Eric Powery? Eric Powery says the best play-by-play guy. I appreciate that. Scobie finally drops his lead hand a little bit, flicks the jab from his hip, and then picks it right back up. Azim shoots a straight right hand. Scobie gets up to block. Scobie getting rough in the clinch, uses his forearm, and the ref is going to deduct a point for sure this time, or not? Because he's had 2 separate warnings for the head. Now he's getting a warning for the forearm. The referee is a nice guy, and Scobie respects his decision and still has avoided a point deduction. So, you know, it's easier said than we're at. Good left hook to the body by Scobie, but back comes Azim to the body, knifing right hand to the body, quick right hand to the body, and getting full extension and leverage on it from a further distance than Scobie had to smother the left hook to the body a little bit. So Azim just has a better sense of distance, higher IQ, quicker hands, quicker feet right now. You know, Scobie looks like he's capable of making some moments happen in there, but he's just too much a step behind right now. Azim just stepping over to his left, halfway through the 6th, lands his jab, hooks off the jab, misses it, misses a left hook wide, gets his jab blocked, but that's all getting off first. Scobie reaches with a left hook and misses, and Azim ties him up. Azim not really showing an inside game. Still has some of that amateur tendency to just move and not fight on the inside. But, yeah, Scobie just too slow. Scobie trying to get rough on the inside after trying to hook off the jab, but just nothing could touch Azim. Azim has been slippery for Scobie. Nice left hook off the turn by Adam Azim there. Little reaction from Scobie's body, but he works rough on the inside because Azim doesn't follow it up. He ties up on the inside. Good jab by Azim. Right uppercut. Left hook to the body. That's clean work by Adam Azim in the center of the ring. I like the way Azim will turn you and, you know, work. He's good at that. And he's got decent reflexes, too. He's not getting hit with a whole lot. That body shot is nice. Yeah, touching the body. A nice left hook to the body. Again, that body work is clean for Adam Azim. Just keep touching up top and and really committing to those body shots here and there. Scobie looks like some of the work's bothering him, but he has a smile on his face. Another right hand to the body by Azim. That right hand to the body is the shot. Just touch up top, and boom, sit something down to the body. Azim, good job getting his head, that lean back reflex, getting it off the line to keep making Scobie miss the hook. That was down the stretch of that round. Azim started to tenderize Kurt Scobie a little bit, but Scobie built strong, tough dude, good poker face, but I do think that body work was starting to bother him. And it's good technique by Azim on the body work. He's keeping you on the end of the jab most of the fight. You just touch him with it. He doesn't really throw a shotgun jab or an authoritative jab, but he's got a quick, educated lead hand. And he's doing a good job, because I'm sure Scobie would want to make him pay for reaching to the body with a counter hook up top, something like that. But Azim's got a good, quick, it's not super sophisticated, but a good, quick reflex to sweep get out of the way of the shot. And he's got quick hands, and he doesn't overly commit to anything. So he's not really sitting down on his punches too much. Adam Azim sits down on the body shots after touching up top, but even then when he's sitting on that, he's not sitting down on them to where he's not prepared defensively for what's coming back. He's not overcommitting. So good left hook to the body again by Azim to start the 7th round. We're in the 7th, secret dance move. Is Shakur the next Terrence Bud Crawford? I don't quite see that. What's up, C Money? But he's becoming a great fighter in his own right. But I don't see the dynamic punching power that Crawford had, the ability to switch like Crawford. Yeah, I don't think he's quite Terrence Crawford, but he's pretty goddamn good. So Azim, left hook to the body again. Scobie getting him to stay. Now Azim, see, I love this from Azim, because I was saying a round ago, at some point his legs will get heavy and Scobie will have him in front of him to get off some opportunities. But Azim going left hook to the body again. Azim, before that moment happens to him from moving every round, is deciding midway through the fight, after he's won every round and after he started to tenderize Kurt Scobie to the body, let me decide to settle down in the pocket now. And Scobie is getting a point taken away. And even though he's a very strong guy, not showing strong signs of fatigue or being hurt, he might be getting broken down systematically now by Azim, who is holding his ground now in the 7th round and feels like he could start breaking Scobie down. And I like that from Azim. That's professional stuff. Now Scobie gets off with a hard right hand, left hook to the body, but back comes Azim with a left hook to the body. Fight is heating up now. Azim staying in close, left uppercut, right hand, left hook, right hand, staying in close with Scobie. Good IQ and tactics by Adam Azim. He took something out of the stronger man first, and now he's staying inside. Left hook to the body by Azim. Now he's looking like Hamza Shiraz with the left hook on the inside against Edgar Berlanga. Good jab to the body by Azim. Azim sitting down on punches now, keeping his feet planted in the pocket. Lead left hook gets blocked, but he's going to work. Double jab, sweeps the right hand of the body. Scobie looks at his corner for a second, lands a stiff jab with Azim coming forward, but Azim smothers Scobie's work. Backing him up, bullying him a little bit now is Adam Azim. Ooh, left hook to the solar plexus. Half left uppercut, half left hook. Azim sweeping the right hand, inaccurate up top. Staying in on, left hook to the body. He's got Scobie on the ropes. I love this from Azim, got chat. I love this. You step around the guy the first 6 rounds. Left hook to the body by Azim again. He is breaking him down. Good jab by Curtis Scobie. Scobie got to let his hands go. You got the kid where you've wanted him all night. Now you're shelling up. Left hook to the body again by Azim. Back comes Scobie with a left hook to the body, and Azim says it's low. That was a belt line shot. Azim pulling a little bit of a Usyk, milking the belt line shot. Shout out to Usyk. Best fighter in the world, along with Crawford. But that left hook to the body by Azim. Chat, does your man not have a good eye for adjustments? I said, sweep it right hand to the body by Azim. Did I not say it was the body, chat? That was beautiful. Tenderizing Scobie. Scobie's a strong motherfucker, man. Sturdy and strong. A little bit sluggish at this level, but hey, I give props to Scobie for holding up to this body work right now, because Adam Azim is tenderizing him to the body. But again, I love that Azim decided hey, it's the first round in the second half of the fight. I've won the first 6. I've outboxed him the first 6. I've stepped around and turned him the first 6, fought off the jab. Let's go to work now. We're touching that body clean, so let's stay in there and touch that body some more. Commit to those body shots. I don't think this guy's hitting as hard as he did before. The body shots are bothering him. Let's start being a professional now and break him down. Because, like I said, Azim was headed towards winning a clear decision, but now he's given himself a chance to do a professional execution job of stopping his man. So I like that. No Ortiz, thank you, brother, for the super chat. They got Ben and Eubank walking into the arena right now, by the way. Sean, I think we should all try to convince Sean Porter to come out of retirement to fight Gervonta Davis for his next fight at a catchweight. It would be a win-win for both of them. Man, thank you for the super chat. But I don't know, man. I don't like that idea. I saw them spar back when Sean was getting ready for Crawford. And, Gervonta got the better of that. I don't think Sean's so close to me, like family, that I know how Sean is. He wouldn't give a shit if I kind of divulged, Gervonta got the better of that then, and Sean was an active pro. I don't know. I just thank you. I feel bad. I wish I gave you more for your super chat, but let me get back to the. Well, I guess I did give you enough for the super chat, right? Because I've revealed who did better in the sparring. Gervonta did. So here comes Azim now, still applying pressure. After changing it up in the 7th, he's staying on Kurt Scobie's ass. And you love this from Azim, too, because some British fighters could be soft. Long-range kid. Kid probably doesn't want to stay in the pocket. Early in the fight, he was clinching. Most of the time, they got in the pocket. But now Azim is just doing a great job in the body and keeping it tight defensively. Right uppercut on the inside. Kurt Scobie letting his hands go. He's got a punch with Azim here. Scobie's got to go for broke. This is his chance in the fight right now. Azim feels like he's comfortable in the pocket before Scobie has nothing left, because now fatigue is setting in for Scobie. Oh, wicked right uppercuts on the inside for Adam Azim off the bodywork, and he's smothering Scobie. He's bullying Scobie on the inside. So this thin British Pakistani kid is giving it to the muscle-bound American on the inside now. Left hook to the body, chopping right hand on the inside by Scobie. He's got a punch. Scobie looking to hold. Azim looking to land the uppercut. Azim still keeping it tight defensively on the inside. Big shot by Kurt Scobie over the top. Misses clean. Try to do that Golovkin punch, that anchor overhand right hand shot. Sneaky left hook to the body in the clinch by Azim. Referee breaks him up. 50 seconds left in the 8th. All Azim right now. Oh, left hook to the body by Azim. Looking like Julio Cesar Chavez. Nice. Oh, man. Good body work. Oh, Scobie's getting broken down, man. That's that pride keeping Scobie up, but the body work is broken his ass down. Good hand speed. Boom. Left hook to the body by Azim. Beautiful. Chopping right hand up top. Right uppercut up top. Lead left hook. Scobie is laying on the ropes, man. He is getting broken down. Left hook to the body again by Azim. The accuracy is crazy on the left hook to the body. We're going to call him Adam Julio Chavez. Right uppercut to the body by Azim. Look at this body work by Adam Azim, chat. It's accurate. It's not ugly. It's good stuff by Adam Azim to the body. Good stuff. Good shit. I like that. I like the body work by Adam Azim. This has been a hell of a performance. The first 6 rounds, I was like, meh. I could tell he won, a lot of amateur fights, and he's got quick hands and good movement and tactics, and all that. But seeing him settle down the last 2 rounds and work in the pocket and break down the body, showing that versatility, changing up, changing gears, changing his style midway through a fight, that's a developing pro right there. I like that. Yeah, Adam Azim getting the Mexicans hype, said Palm Tree One. He is. He had 1 or 2 of those little touch shots and then going with the left hook to the body that was straight out of Mexico. Secret Dance Move says, I think Scobie will retire at the end of this round. His corner will pull him out. Yeah, they should try to, because he's cooked. He's got 4 more rounds of this to deal with. He's cooked. Scobie jabbing to the body to start the 9th. He's getting swept 9-0 with the point deduction too, or 8-0. Is Kermel Moton the truth? That remains to be seen. He's definitely got championship level talent, but will he be rangy enough? He's got short arms, that kind of thing. Will he be like, like Sean Porter, Tim Bradley? Will he find a way to navigate being the shorter man with his athleticism? I suspect he will. I suspect Kermel Moton will be a world champion level fighter, but we'll see. We'll see. Azim staying on top of Scobie. Scobie showing enough resistance to slow down Azim's downhill attack a little bit. But now Azim stepping in, missing shots. Scobie staying defensively alert in the pocket. Shoulder roll a little bit out of Curtis Scobie to keep his face clean, keep from getting hit early in the ninth. Picks his gloves back up, glides along the ropes. Azim dropping his lead hand, feigning a little bit, jabbing to the body. Not reaching with shots right here, Azim. Not falling into any potential counters. Azim staying on top, keeping his distance, keeping his front foot about him. Left hook to the body by Azim. Scobie falls into the clinch. Azim works in the clinch halfway through the ninth. But Scobie doing a good job this round of at least slowing it down. Stopping some of that downhill avalanche that Azim was doing. Or maybe Azim just taking a breather here. Touches with a right hand. Left hook to the body with Scobie pinned in the corner. Left hook to the body again with Scobie's back along the ropes. Azim, good sweeping right hand to the body. Scobie says, come on, give me more. But cannot offer in resistance. Left hook, straight right hand against the high guard for Azim. It's all Azim. Azim sweeps a right hand up top. Scobie just off with a right hand, but Azim getting his head off the line. Not off the line, but, backing it out of range, but still with the chin exposed. Maybe a better fighter than Scobie at some point will take advantage of that, but not he. Double left hook to the body. Scobie looks at the ref. Another left hook to the body. Scobie with a good left hook to the body back. Left uppercut for Azim. Another left uppercut for Azim. Tough touch jab. Touch right hand for Azim. And he pivots out to his right, back in the center of the ring. 20 seconds left in the ninth. Is Vargas the truth? Yes, I think Emiliano's the truth. I just don't know if he'll beat Abdullah Mason. Hard right hand buckled Kurt Scobie's legs and knees a little bit there, and Azim threw it off the left hook. Lead left hook for Azim, throwing it with heat. Scobie gets the right glove up to block it, but Azim throwing it with bad intentions. Yeah, that's another round for Azim, but yeah, I think Emiliano Vargas is the truth. Moton versus Mason. Mason's length is going to be brutal for Vargas and for Moton. The length, man. 74-inch reach is down. We thought Floyd's reach was illegal at 72 inches. And you've seen what Terrence Crawford's been able to do going from 35 to 68. He's got a 74-inch reach just like Abdullah. So that educated length in boxing is a motherfucker. Doesn't mean anything if you're the more skilled fighter, if you have a better sense of distance and you got short arms, doesn't matter. Or if you're Manny Pacquiao, Roberto Duran, you know how to time going in and out of range as the shorter man. You got all kinds of head movement and angles to go with it, Lomachenko. But when two equal level fighters with an equal level type of IQ and talent and ability fight, but one guy is longer, it reminds me of basketball. What became in vogue in the NBA was length about a decade ago. Guys that can guard multiple positions with long arms. And even Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson would say the difference between Michael and Kobe was Michael's hand size. And I think that's kind of going to be part of the secret sauce for Abdullah Mason, like Terrence Crawford, that's going to make him so hard to beat. And he's not even fully educated with his length yet. He's fighting in the pocket. Sometimes when he doesn't need to, he's hunting for knockouts. When he really knows how to keep you at the end and make you not be able to land at a distance he can hit you at, it's going to be a wrap. So, but anyway, into the 10th we go. Leonard Hearns. Yeah, Leonard Hearns. And the thing is, Hearns, if those were 12-round fights back in the 80s, Marvelous Irv, Hearns would have beaten Leonard. And if he would have got the fair verdict in the rematch, Hearns would have been, if it was 12-round fights and they were called the right way, Hearns would actually be 2-0 against Leonard. That's how much educated length is a motherfucker. But it took Leonard the 15-round distance and pulling out from the depths of his balls, not even his heart. He had to reach deeper than his heart to pull out a behind the scorecard detached retina knockout in the 13th and 14th rounds. So anyway, yeah, educated length is a bitch. And that's what's going to make Abdullah probably the toughest out between him, Emiliano, and Kermel. But Emiliano is going to be a wonderful fighter. Mark my words on that. So we're going to call his fight tonight, too. I'm going to hop off this live when the main event of Benn and Eubank is off and take a little break, and then we'll be back on. By the way, Azim is just cooking Scobie right now. But Scobie is durable and sturdy. Azim mixing in his left hook to the body and to the head well, mixing in other punches to disguise it, and just dominating Scobie. But Scobie's showing a lot of durability and pride, especially holding up to this body work. You know, nobody likes body work, but then again, look at the body of Scobie. He's built like a brick, like a tank. So, man, Scobie, though, it looks like he's not going to get stopped. I don't know. Azim looked like right uppercut on the inside for Scobie. They trade left hooks. Scobie with a right uppercut on the inside again. 1, 2, 3 by Azim on the inside. But Scobie is touching Azim a little bit here down the stretch in the 10th because Azim is taking chances. He's staying in that pocket maybe even more than he needs to, way ahead on the cards. So that'll do it for the 10th. Good left hook to the body by Scobie. Double jab right hand by Azim. Oh, Azim catching him with a left hook. Keep good distance control by Azim, knowing Scobie's going to fall short with his hook, and he keeps him on the end of his own hook. They're showing Bomac. You know, Bomac is not happy with your boy. But Bomac is a fucking great trainer. And I'm picking Eubank tonight in part because of that man right there, Brian McIntyre, because of Bomac. So here's the deal with me and Bomac. Bomac didn't like that to start the year. I said I got Pacheco 80-20 over Steve Nelson. I picked Pacheco to win. And that fight was in Vegas. I see Bomac. He calls me a traitor. He won't give me the interview. After the fight, at the post-fight, I look at Bomac like, you know, hey, what's up? Are we cool? And being a little like, hey, what happened? I was right. You were so upset with me about picking the right fighter. And he was like, man, get out of here. We're not going to talk. So we kind of haven't been cool, I guess, since then or whatever. He doesn't like talking to me or doing interviews now. Joked around about me being a traitor. And then, of course, I picked Canelo to win against Crawford, and I'm sure that didn't help anything. And, hey, he got his get back. I think he'll take Crawford over Canelo instead. I think he'll trade a loss for Nelson against Pacheco if he could get a win of Crawford over Canelo. I think he'll take that trade-off. So, anyway, me and Bomac haven't been cool, I guess, this year, but he is a great fucking trainer. And he is part of why I would favor Eubank tonight to win this rematch. So, but back to the Adam Azim fight. Yeah, Scope, who said that? Secret Dance, who said, not good for Azim's brand if he can't stop Scobie. Yeah, I mean, he was on his way. I give him credit. It was not for a lack of effort. He turned it up 7, 8, 9 and looked like he was going to get Scobie out of there. But Scobie's durable. Let's give Scobie some credit, man. He's a muscle-bound, strong, built like a brick shithouse. And he held up durability-wise. I don't see Azim as nothing special, but he's good. Good fighter. I don't think anybody at 140 is sweating looking at him. Richardson Hitchens, Matias, I don't think those guys are too concerned with what they're seeing. I don't think he outboxes Richardson Hitchens, and I don't know if he's got enough heat to keep Matias off of him. He ain't beating Brian Norman. Him and Barrios would be a good scrap. But Azim got good skills, good speed. I don't know, though. I'm not seeing... it's not as good as Khan. Not as dynamic and as fast and as talented as Amir Khan was. Scobie's very durable. Let's give him credit for that. But his power hasn't made a big impact on Scobie at all. And he couldn't ask for better body shots than he was landing a few rounds ago in succession, one after the other. So, Now he's oh, big right hand by Azim, just as I'm saying that. Beautiful right hand. Scobie is badly hurt. That was a beautiful touch right hand, or touch jab to set up a right hand. Badly buckled Scobie. Hit him with the perfect kind of right hand shot. Scobie still holding on, still hurt. 30 seconds left in the round. Referee taking a look at Scobie. This Azim's got to follow up with a flurry of shots here. Lead left hook, lead left hook. Left hook right hand by Azim. Left hook right hand. Scobie clinches. Legs not underneath him. He's got 18 seconds left in the round. Azim following up. Left uppercut for Azim. Scobie still hurt. Azim doing a good job sneaking in the uppercuts behind other decoy punches. Using a punch to set it up. Scobie's going to make it out of this round. He tells the ref, I'm okay, I'm okay. Big right hand by Azim, and Scobie is rocked going back to his corner. Yeah, they might want to just stop that. Sean, at least Bo didn't do you like two-tone. No, I think on some level, Bo Mac would still respect me, but I know Red Spikes does, and I got love for people. Some people at Team Crawford got love for me, but I'm sure they didn't like my cutting critiques about getting in bed with Saudi and all that shit. But hey, I stand by everything I said, but I'm not going to keep belaboring the point. I said what I said about it in the lead up to it. He won the fight. He is one of the greatest fighters of all time. I'm not a hater. Might be a critic, because to be a critic, you have to critically think, and to critically think means you have to be critical sometimes, but not a hater. So, what's up, Gemro? There's not many boxers as skilled or as fast as Khan. He just had a suspect chin. Very true. Hand speed was crazy. But again, I mean, let's see if a minute was long enough for Scobie to recover. Scobie's legs still not fully underneath him. He's trying to get off with some shots, but they look a little precarious. Yeah, Scobie not fully recovered yet. Azim got a wounded man in front of him with a lot of pride who's still letting his hands go, and Scobie badly off balance trying a big left hook. Scobie, though, showing a lot of balls. Letting his hands go without his legs even fully underneath him after almost getting dropped. Right hand lands for Azim, but Scobie lands a left hook. They exchange there. Double, triple jab from Azim, keeping it in the center of the ring. Low blow by Scobie with the left hook, but Azim doesn't complain to the ref this time. Azim trying to counter with a left hook. Another left hook goes low for Kurt Scobie. Scobie gonna forearm, headbutt, low blow, whatever he's got to do to not let this British kid stop him. Because he talked a lot of shit, and he's going to try and at least back it up by not going down. Chopping right hand hurts Scobie. Azim punctuating the exchanges these two are having. Scobie holds on with 1:45 left in the fight. Azim, lead right hand, blocks it. Scobie ties him up. Referee breaks him up center of the ring. 1.5 left in the fight. 1-2 by Azim. Left uppercut off that 1-2. Chopping right hand. Another chopping right hand. Scobie just getting beat up, but keeping the gloves up. But those up... Oh, left hook to the body. Left hook up top. Super clean by Adam Azim. Beautiful placement on these combinations. Down goes Scobie. He takes a knee. That was smart by Scobie if the goal is to make it to the final bell. Scobie, a beaten man, broken down, but still enough pride to carry him through 60 more seconds. The referee says no. Scobie says, I'm good. That's it. Azim stops him with 1 minute left in the fight. That was, Scobie could have made it another minute, but it was like, you know what? Azim, he pounded that stoppage out of him and the referee. That body work was beautiful in spots by Adam Azim. That was a very good performance by Adam Azim. He outboxed him for 6 rounds. Then he turned up the heat for 2 or 3 rounds, 7, 8, and 9. Then Scobie, fighting on fumes, fighting on pride, summoned some resistance a little bit, just to slow the downhill avalanche enough in 10 and 11. But then in the 11th round, Azim clocks him with a long-range right hand off a nice touch jab, turns over the shot, gets good power and leverage and distance on it, buzzes Scobie. Scobie somehow makes it through the 11th, comes out in the 12th, lets his hands go to try to offer last a last hurrah, last bit of resistance, but Azim composed, touches him hard to the body, touches him up top, picks his shots beautifully, and earns a stoppage in the last minute of the fight. That was good stuff by Adam Azim. I may not think that Azim is a future world champion necessarily, because he's coming up in the most talent deep divisions usually in boxing, 40, 47, but he's a class pro. That left hook to the body was sizzling. And the uppercuts down the stretch were beautiful. So the problem for Azim might be, though, can he hold up in the pocket with a Matias enough to get that kind of work off? Is he a good enough boxer on the outside like he was doing to Scobie for 6 rounds to do that against Haney or Hitchens? Or, you know what I mean? Now, maybe the answer is, well, you're underestimating his versatility. He just showed he can box when he needs to, and he can sit down in the pocket when he needs to. So when he fights a Matias, he'll be versatile like he was against Scobie tonight. He'll turn Matias all night, and then when it's time, he'll break him down to the body, hurt him to the body, get his respect that way. And then with Hitchens, maybe with a guy like Hitchens, he has the advantage in the pocket. Unlike, so I don't know. But he's a damn good fighter. He had a really good performance tonight. It's just I don't know if he's going to be world champion. We're talking about the top 1% of the 1% at that level. He's a part of the top 1%, but is he a part of the next level beyond that, the world champion level? But he's good. Adam Azim is good. What's up, drummers against it? Khan deserves more respect. Mostly fought way bigger guys. Say what you want, but he's a warrior. I think Khan gets his respect. I get it. He has to deal with a lot of memes about his shin and everything. But, I mean, Khan at one point was the best 140-pounder in the game. Beat Maidana. Dropped Maidana. And Mayweather and Broner couldn't say that. Beat a lot of good fighters, man. Stopped Zab Judah. Everybody knows he has some of the fastest hands ever. He kind of sold his prime off, though, in the Canelo fight. Like, he was grooving with Virgil Hunter. He had looked better than ever against Devin Alexander. It looked like he still had everything that made him a unified champ at 140. But Virgil had made him slow down a little bit, made him a little less overzealous. And, he had merged some of Virgil's patience with his crazy hand speed of his youth and all that. And just as he was moving and grooving with Virgil, he takes the Canelo fight for a big payday. And after that kind of brutal knockout, I don't think Khan was ever the same after Canelo. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. I would have liked to have seen him kind of finish the path he was on with Virgil Hunter at welterweight and see what would have came of that, but whatever. Khan was definitely very good. Everybody knows boxing, knows the book on Khan. Super fast hands, great speed, but can't take a punch, and defensive lapses. So let's be real, Amir was winning that Canelo fight until he got caught. Yeah, I thought so. I mean, I covered that fight. That was the first big event, I think, at T-Mobile. And it was Canelo Khan, what was it, May 2016? And Canelo was getting outboxed badly. That's why Khan knew that Crawford would beat him. Because remember, Khan came on Sean's show and told us Canelo's going to lose to Crawford. And I didn't know if part of it was because Crawford had gotten Khan out of his prime. Canelo got him in his prime. And so maybe Khan is forgetting, well, yeah, I got dominated that much more by Crawford because Crawford didn't fight the version of me that Canelo had to fight. And then also he took to Crawford in his camp so much, he wound up becoming a part of Team Crawford. So I didn't know if that interfered at all. But, ultimately Khan was very sure of himself that Crawford would beat Canelo. And to your point, it's because he was outboxing Canelo. So he must have said, well, if I was outboxing Canelo, so can Crawford. But I also thought not only was Khan better when Canelo fought him than when Crawford fought him, but Canelo also improved. The 154 Canelo was not as good as the 160 and 168 Canelo. But at the end of the day, those improvements, they only add up but so much, and Crawford was just better overall pound for pound than Canelo, and it showed. So, Secret Dance Move said, problem with Khan is that he didn't vary his speed, so once a boxer worked out the speed, they could time him. He didn't hide his speed that well. It was all just that one space. He wasn't a thinking fighter, just all athleticism. Yep, that's why Danny was able to time him. And, wait, what's this? Someone sent me a text.
Because fuck him. We gave him.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Someone, shout out to my man Kenny. All right, Jack Catterall against Essiman. Not to be confused with Sissoko, who is the WBC mandatory. Essiman and Sissoko, you could get them confused. Man, shout out to the British fans. These fights, some of them are mid, man. Adam Azim did good, though. And Richard Rapico, how am I saying that right? Richard, let's just call him Rapico, even though it's not the way to say it. He looked good in his heavyweight debut. Got that knockout, 6'5". Damn, that's crazy. He was making it to cruiserweight at 6'5". But he looked good. He got his knockout. And I'm not expecting much from Jack Catterall and Essiman, to be honest with you. Catterall, he had his momentum. You know, a lot of people thought he beat Josh Taylor twice. Then he fights Arnold Barboza and loses at home to Arnold Barboza. So we're all kind of good on Jack Catterall now, right, chat? I mean, he's got a good left hand, crafty southpaw, kind of does the same thing over and over again very well. But, yeah. He lost to Barboza. Think we know what he is. So, Rappaport. Thank you, Rappaport. Sean, any chance you see Anthony Yarde winning? Yeah, there's a chance. I think Benavidez stops him inside of 10 rounds. But, yeah, I think I got Benavidez stopping him in 8, 9. But there's a chance because Benavidez gets overzealous in the pocket and forgets his defensive responsibility, trusts his reflexes too much, and takes too many chances in range because he trusts his chin and he has such good hand speed against these guys and these weights that he feels like he's going to land the last shot, and he's got good vision in the exchanges and good reflexes. But so he's really good at it, but sometimes he trusts himself too much in that regard, and Yarde can't punch. So I think in the first 6, 7 rounds in particular, Yarde's left hook, right hand, he's got power in both hands. I think it's the left hook, though, that could catch David. But if David is smart, this is an easy fight for him, relatively speaking. If David's smart, this is going to be his most impressive showing at 175. Why? Well, because Vosdick was a fighter, very crafty vet, who came in strong as shit, by the way, and came to survive, and Benavidez didn't have Memo Heredia, and Vosdick used his feet a lot. He has great feet, and he didn't really come to win. He came more to survive, and he was very strong. Benavidez wasn't that strong in his first outing, so he looked good, but not quite up to the expectations people have for him. Then against Morrell is another mover who did come to win, and Morrell, he has a lot of athleticism and movement. Yarde is a guy that will move a little bit, but he's a muscle-bound guy who's going to stay in range more than Morrell and Vosdick. He's going to move less than those guys did. And because of that muscle-bound frame, he gasses out quicker than Morrell and Vosdick. So, and he's not as slick as Morrell and Vosdick. But he has more in the tank than Vosdick had, and he's physically stronger than Morrell. I think overall Morrell's a little bit better than Yarde, and Morrell has deceptively strong character in the ring, because it looked like the last Russian dude was breaking him down, maybe going to stop him, and the Russian dude probably should have won that fight against Morrell, but Morrell, he punched in between enough, he let his balls hang enough to scratch out a close one. The Russian probably should have got a benefit of the doubt in, but all that to be said is, I think Yarde may even have even more heart than Morrell. So he's going to be in front of Benavidez more. I think if Benavidez stays behind the jab, he can make it an easy fight. Just stay responsible defensively, break him down behind the jab, and then the minute Yard starts huffing and puffing, that's when he can get to the sexy 10 punch combinations. But like Andre Ward told Benavidez early this year, as when he interviewed him for the Morrell fight, if you use your lead hand a lot, you could really be a dominant fighter. You come in and throw with both hands, you're a really good fighter. But this, and he held up David's hand and said, This is the hand, the lead hand. And if David dominates Yard behind his lead hand, we might be forgetting how good Benavidez' jab is, because Andrade, Plant, Vazdik, Morrell, these guys have good feet and they use them a lot. And Benavidez doesn't have the best feet. So in the center of the ring against these movers, the jab hasn't been so hot because he's had to reach with the right hand, so then he could get closer to them that way, square his feet up, hope to cut the distance, work his mid close range stuff. His jab hasn't been in range a lot against these movers. And the part of why I thought he would always beat Canelo is if you stay in front of Benavidez, he has a scorching jab, an excellent jab, sizzling jab, and Yard will be in front of him. So I think this fight brings about the rebirth of the Benavidez jab. I think he gets to box a little bit more this time and play the role of a boxer, because against Plant, Andrade, Vazdik, Morrell, he had to be the seek and destroy guy. Couldn't get caught up in a boxing match at long range with those guys with their athleticism and range. Against Yard, he can be and David's comfortable being the boxer. He can be the boxer a little bit more against Yard. And if he goes rock'em sock'em robots with Yard, yeah, Yard could catch him being overzealous with a big hook and pull off a big upset. But if Benavidez makes the most of his skills, offensive arsenal, and jab and hand speed, he can make it an easy fight. And once Yard starts huffing and puffing, he could roll downhill on that ass. And because then by round 5, 6, 7, 8, the 10 punch combos can start. But early, this dude is strong and he's experienced. You better just put the jab on him early, use the speed advantage, break him down, and then you can get rolling downhill. I think if Benavidez does that, it's an easy night. And I think it'll be his first stoppage at 175. And that's what I'm predicting. I think Benavidez gets his first stoppage at 75. But Yard will be dangerous in the first half of that fight in particular. So we'll see. Yard has to really commit to the body, says Secret Dance and Move. Yeah, and he'll have his chance to do it because Benavidez will trust himself laying on the ropes sometimes in the high guard. He'll trust himself on the inside. And Morrell was able to get off some hard body shots. He left some food on the table to the body, but it's hard when them sizzling fast hands and them wicked combinations and that ferocity and that intensity and that ugly grin staring you down when the Mexican monster gets to going. It's hard. It's hard, but I agree with you that Yard will have a couple of opportunities to get off a hard left hook to the body, and he should make I think, and I'm sure Yard's working on that, on making every bomb count, because he knows he doesn't have the hand speed and the conditioning over 12 to go blow for Benavidez. He's got to make his bombs count and be efficient with them. So we'll see. Tay says Benavidez makes light work of Yard, in my opinion. Yeah, Secret Dance says, can we skip this next fight and have a Q&A? Yeah, go for it, guys. I am not dying to call this next fight. So if you guys have other boxing topics to throw my way, please do it. Let's see. Secret Dance Move says, I think Yard will start off well, but as he did in his previous 2 world title fights, he'll gas out late in the fight. Drummers against it. Thank you, brother, said Sean, always with great commentary. Have I seen Noakes yet? I have. I just don't think that guy... He's got good offense, man, but the problem for Sam Noakes is he's running into a generational talent, I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe Abdullah showing chinks in the armor, going down against Vasquez twice, but I really think of there was a clip of Oscar going down against George Campanella, right? Oscar was like 21, 22. Oscar got put on his ass and then stopped him the next round. But Oscar got dropped nasty. Ali against Doug Jones, Benavidez against Gavril, on and on. And those young legs still growing into your man strength, still getting your legs underneath you, still being a little bit light in the ass as a boy growing up. Some of these guys go down, and so I don't overreact to Vasquez dropping Mason twice. What I see from Noakes is like a different body type, but kind of like a Nick Ball. Now I get it. Nick Ball is 5'2" and needs to get on the inside. Noakes punches at a further distance. He's taller, thinner, different body type, but same kind of temperament. They're there to fight. And if Noakes was going up against a Leia, if he was going up against Zarur Abdullayev for the title, if he was going up against Denis Berenchik for the title, then I think Noakes could very well be on his way to being world champion. But he's going up against a phenom. He's going up against a kid with electric talent. I mean, he might be going up against the most talented prospect in American boxing. So I just think, unfortunately for Sam Noakes, he's running into a killer in his first title fight. He's not getting a matchmaking service for himself. He's getting matched as hard as he could possibly probably be in his first title fight. So, yeah, I got... Secret Dance Move said, Sean, Noakes is solid in all departments, but doesn't excel in any one department. He's by far the best opponent Mason has ever faced. Yeah, absolutely. He's got a pulse, and he's throwing heat. This isn't Manuel Jaimes. You know what I mean? This isn't Johan Vasquez. This isn't Jeremiah Nakatia. This is a real live body in there. Mason, if his defensive deficiencies have been overlooked, look, Mason doesn't really faint. His defense is okay, and he's been dropped before. And his feet aren't educated like that yet. But he's got such speed and power and instincts and length. And it seems like dog, appetite for smoke. He's going to be too much to overcome for Sam Noakes. But then again, I don't know, man. Maybe he hits a brutal speed bump. Maybe Mason, who trusts himself too much in those exchanges for the first time, is fighting someone who could punch almost as hard as he can. And maybe he gets clocked, and maybe he gets shockingly stopped, and he's forced to regroup and become one of these great fighters that actually lost his first title fight, had a setback early in his career. I can see that happening for Mason. That's not out of the question, because he's in with a live body and a young, undefeated guy like himself who doesn't know any better, who's coming to win. It's going to be a good one. But I think Mason knocks him out. So, yeah. So Jack Catterall is in the ring now. Ecal Essiman in the ring as well, I believe. But let's see. Someone said... Gemrose said, too early to compare Little Bro to Oscar De La Hoya. Talented, but that drop showed poor defensive tendencies, but inversely great heart. Yeah, fair. Who'd someone say? Breakdown Inoue versus Nakatani. What's up, Francisco Alatorre? I got, I don't know, man. I don't know. The timing of the fight is favoring Nakatani. He's got youth on his side. And size, even though he's the guy moving up in weight. He's the bigger guy. When they rehydrate and everything, he's going to be the bigger guy. His body is a big target for Inoue. I think, look, it's a great fucking fight. I favor Inoue because their gas tank's at full at 100% capacity. I think Inoue's the greater fighter. Nakatani is an elite fighter. But he doesn't have the reflexes, the all-around arsenal defensively and offensively that Inoue does. Inoue does so many things. His highlight reel is insane. He pull counters. He catches and shoots out of a high guard. He has a beautiful stab to the body. He shoulder rolls. He bounces in and out of range with ridiculous feet and athleticism. He punches hard as shit with both hands. He can knock you out with every punch in the book, to the head, to the body. Inoue is amazing. His chin is up too much. That's his big Achilles heel. And he'll take too many chances. Sometimes he doesn't always have the IQ that Crawford and Usyk and Bivol fight with. but he might be more talented than all of them. But his chin is up in the air too much, so that when he gets caught clean. And he gets caught running red lights because he's got the Ferrari. He's got the fucking Jaguar, Lamborghini, the Gran Turismo, hardest car to unlock in the game. He has that car and gets reckless with it. I'm going to go with Inoue, but I think it's not me hedging my bets. I'm breaking down the fight. I think Nakatani needs Inoue to have lost a step a little bit to catch him with that left hand bomb. Maybe not though. Maybe he just needs Inoue to be Inoue. Maybe Inoue that's Inoue, man. He's going to take too many chances. He dialed it down a little bit for MJ Akhmadaliev, but live by the sword, die by the sword. Kind of like Pacquiao. At some point, someone's going to catch you because that's your style, that's your temperament, and maybe Nakatani just catches him. But I think that fight, look, they used it in the Japanese magazine, chat. They literally used my headline. My guy Daisuke Segura got my quote to be the headline in Japanese boxing. I said that Inoue Nakatani is the Leonard Hearns of Japanese boxing. It's the Japanese Leonard Hearns, and Leonard is Inoue. So I got Inoue, but we'll see. Do I really believe Jake and Joshua happens? I don't know. I'm skeptical. I mean, I think it's funny that it was official, and then my guy Andreas Hale shot that down and said it's not official, which didn't surprise me. And John Nash, who is big MMA writer, big guy that speaks truth to power, not afraid of getting banned, that kind of thing, good writer. He said days ago, before Andreas Hale revealed that the fight's not actually done, he said, watch, this fight's not going to happen. Jake Paul will... This fight's not going to happen, and Jake Paul will say, hey, we tried to negotiate with Anthony Joshua and fell apart, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see, though. I did not expect Jake to really get in a ring with someone like Joshua, but Joshua can't take a punch anymore. But still, I would give credit to Jake Paul if he got in that ring with Joshua. And Jake Paul I went back upon this fight being flirted out there, and I watched the Chavez Jr. tape again, and he's gotten a lot better. I said that night when I called that fight on the channel, but Jake's gotten better. He would hold a quickness and speed advantage at this stage over Joshua, and Joshua can't take a punch anymore. So, I don't know. Anything's possible in boxing. But Joshua, when last needed to defend the honor of boxing against a kind of an outsider like Ngannou, he almost took his fucking head off. So, if Joshua lands that kind of right hand against Jake Paul, he won't be waking up for at least 120 seconds. He'll be asleep for a little while. But I don't know. We'll see. Jake Paul might see something, or he's just full of shit and floating a fight out there for credibility while he winds up finding a much easier opponent. We will see. I don't really care that much. So, but this is my first time talking about it. Inoue more talented than Bud? Madness. It's close, bro, because you got to take into account that he's at those lower weights, but Inoue's hand speed, pound for pound, if we're talking hand speed, reflexes, and foot speed, and maybe even punching power, Inoue might have all of that over Crawford. What Crawford has over Inoue is timing, IQ, length, and I mean, and when I say IQ, that means so many things in Crawford's favor. That means he's defensively more responsible. Even if his reflexes and foot speed aren't as amazing and gifted as Inoue, he still gets hit a little bit less because he has a better sense of distance than Inoue. Although Inoue's sense of distance is amazing. That's why he's able to jump in with lead power shots like a lead hook. That's why he's able to land an uppercut from distances other fighters can't land it from. I mean, Inoue's amazing, bro. It's just that Crawford has longer arms and has a better IQ. But yes, in terms of talent, foot speed, reflexes, punch and power, I mean, the punch and power, it's close. Inoue has more of that raw, explosive, Mike Tyson, wow, just speed, power, boom, eye-catching shit. Whereas Crawford got that knifing, sneaky snap is on the end of the wrist and at the end of the punch, deceptive power. And that power can sneak you and catch you in between, and you don't even know what caught you, and the fight's over, kind of thing. So they're both amazing talents, but I don't think that saying Inoue might be more naturally gifted than Crawford is blasphemy. I mean, again, hand speed, foot speed, reflexes, and then just raw power. You could argue in all of those areas it's Inoue, but Crawford has a better IQ, tucks his chin better, and has longer arms. So we'll see. Dana was mean with you. Yeah, he was. That's okay though. I'm a big boy. Why is Inoue even with Top Rank when they have no TV deal? But because when he signed with them, they had ESPN. They had the TV deal. But he's got to finish out a contract, I imagine. That's what that is. Let's see. Sean, can you see Fabio Wardley fighting Italma? I can't. They got the same trainer. So because of that, I guess not. What about Loma and Usyk? Who's better in your opinion? It's a good question, C-Money, because Usyk would tell you Lomachenko in a heartbeat. You could see the Anatoly Lomachenko imprint. I would like to talk to Usyk and Loma, but I would actually, if I had the chance to, and I've interviewed Usyk before, but not extensively. If I had the chance to interview Usyk, I'd ask him, can I go in your gym and you can walk us through the famous Usyk Lomachenko feints that fighters like Opataya, Bam Rodriguez, so many fighters are taking that, and Caleb Plant has told me it's the number one thing he observes from Usyk. I would love to be in the gym with Usyk and have him take a novice like me and try to teach us those famous Usyk Lomachenko feints. So Usyk would say, I think Usyk would say Loma's the godfather. Like, Loma started this gangsta shit. And this is the thanks he's going to get, is that he's better than me. And so I think Usyk would defer to Lomachenko as the big little bro, and whichever right way to put it. But I think you got to go Usyk. Usyk surpassed Lomachenko. He is undefeated. He won his biggest fights, and Loma, albeit with some context needed, right? He did come on strong against Lopez. A lot of people thought he did win against Haney. That could have went either way. Salido, he dared to be great. He tried to win a title in as few fights as any professional in the history of the sport and lost against a tough Mexican veteran in Salido, and then still wound up breaking the record and won a world title in fewer fights than anybody else by beating Russell. But I think it's Usyk, man. Usyk won his biggest fights. Lomachenko lost most of his biggest fights. And Usyk was able to be a little bit rangier than Lomachenko. Lomachenko, a little bit shorter arms, pound for pound, had to always get a little bit closer to you. Usyk could snipe you at a longer distance than Loma. Loma had to double up the jab, feint, double up the jab, take the angle with the lead foot, and then cook you. Usyk could be at a longer distance and still touch you. So he was, I give it to Usyk. But I think Usyk would disagree with me. Usyk would tell you Lomachenko's the Don. Like, him and his dad, they made that style. So I would love to ask Usyk to walk us through the feints, teach us how to do it. And then I'd like to ask him how much of your style was from Loma and Anatoly Lomachenko, and then how much of that is just the Ukrainian style, period. It's not really exclusive to this thing that Loma and his dad crafted. Because I'd be curious to know that. Because I feel like part of it has to just be their school in Russia and in Ukraine, because you see Bakram do it, you see Kova, but I feel like that specific style of feinting that has become iconic by Loma and Usyk is kind of their own shit. So, but you saw Postal do it and everything. Thank you, J-Dub. J-Dub said, Chad is tripping. Sean's been giving Crawford his props long before most of y'all even knew who Crawford was. Yeah, I was, Yeah. Tay-Day says, Chat's being dramatic. Sean always gives flowers to Crawford. Best counterpuncher ever. I always said that. But, I'm not trivializing his greatness, man. I'm saying he's one of the greatest fighters ever. He's the best counterpuncher I ever seen. You know, if you want, Gemro, if you want to, offer analytical offset, but if you're just going to go, he's just hating, that's not really an offsetting, perspective. So, anyway, I've even been on record saying a year ago that pound for pound, I'd pick Crawford to beat Inoue if they were to fight hypothetically in a pound for pound type fight. Because again, I think Crawford's IQ and counterpunching, he would catch Inoue. If Cardenas catches Inoue and Neri catches Inoue, Crawford would catch Inoue, But in terms of just raw horsepower with the hand speed and the foot speed and everything, I think Inoue is the most athletic fighter in the game. I think it's Inoue and Boots are the most athletic fighters in boxing. What do you think about that, chat? Am I tripping? I think Inoue and Boots, probably the top two. But all right, round 3. Catterall's winning this fight. Catterall doing a good job with his jab in this fight. Just keeping better distance than Essiman. Keeping him on the end of the jab. Not a lot of action going on in this one. We kind of expected that. And if you fight at this distance all night with Catterall, what Barboza did good against Catterall was make him pick his feet up. Because Catterall, he likes to step in, step out, step in, step out. And Catterall Barboza gave him angles. If you fight in and out with Catterall, he's going to keep you on a string. And he's gonna touch you with the lead hand, keep you in front of him, and then eventually snipe you with a left hand. And he's got a good left uppercut, good straight left hand, good power on it. He kind of does that over and over again. T.O., yeah, you're right, Tay-Day. T.O.'s very athletic. Conor Benn's athletic. Bam, I have to add in an athleticism too, no doubt. Usyk, I got to put up there in athleticism just because how he's able to move at 230 for 12 rounds. Like, it's not that he has the sexiest athleticism with the maneuvers. He doesn't, for a guy that doesn't get hit a whole lot, he doesn't flex his waist a lot. Think of how much Canelo moves his head. Usyk, for the most part, it's just the dips to the side, and you don't know which direction he's going, east or west. And then the high guard is so disciplined, and it comes with a little dip off the line. But it's not like he's doing a lot of sexy Floyd, Purnell, Canelo, upper body movements. But I think you got to put his athleticism up there. And you got to put Crawford's athleticism up there. All the crazy shit he can do. But the creme de la creme, the most athletic of the most, I give it to Inoue and Boots right now. Crawford, Usyk, of course. Bivol, too. I mean, all those got Bam. Those guys are super crazy athletic, too, in all their own different dimensions and ways and styles. Nakatani's athletic, but I don't know. I haven't seen the upper body flexibility. He's got that frame that holds him back from that a little bit. And I don't think he makes up for it with the kind of athleticism Hearns had at that frame. But I would put Nakatani in that tier below. Jamro, thank you, brother, for the super chat, despite your harsh disagreements. Thank you, though, brother. Says, Usyk has only had 8 heavyweight fights with 5 opponents. He fought AJ after his losses and Fury after his wars with Wilder. He's an all-time great for sure. But his dominance at heavyweight is overstated, in my opinion. It's a good tweet. Good to the chat. Well, to be fair, though, there's just fewer fights in quantity these days, period, right? I mean, guys aren't fighting 60. The days of the Canelo career are coming to an end. And the Pacquiao career, 60, 70, 75 professional fights. I mean, Usyk's career is becoming more the norm in quantity of fights. So his level of number of fights he's had in the division is, to put it in context, he hasn't been inactive in today's era of boxing. I think you bring up a really fair point by bringing up that AJ still had the belts, but we all know AJ in the Klitschko fight, let alone the first Ruiz fight, from that point on, didn't trust himself on offense, didn't fight with the same level of confidence that he had coming up the ladder, winning the heavyweight titles, knocking out Klitschko. But still, AJ, after his losses, he was still coming off of wins as well and still had the belts. So he didn't fight Joshua with no momentum. So the Joshua win was good. Both of them were good. And then Joshua, to his credit, got Robert Garcia in the rematch, fought better in the rematch, and Usyk bested him again. Fury should have lost probably to Ngannou. And after the Fury was never the same after the second Wilder fight. He only peaked that night, February 2020. After that, he got flabbier, softer, and not as sharp, and not as strong, not as dominant. That was the peak, and everything after that for Fury was kind of downhill, so I agree with you. But he still had the belt, still was the champ, and he took it off of him. And Fury still had a half foot of height on him and 30, 40 pounds of weight on him. And for Usyk to handily beat and drop a man that much bigger than him is the stuff that makes that pound for pound is all about. And then and then the evolution going from getting chased down from pillar to post to Derek Chisora to truly filling out and evolving as a heavyweight and then knocking Daniel Dubois flat the fuck out. And Dubois had been knocked out a few times and everything, but still, that evolution of going from a fleet-footed blown-up cruiserweight to really starting to hurt these guys, dropping Fury, knocking Dubois out. That showed. I think his dominance at heavyweight is overstated. I think that's a fair opinion, but I think Usyk is great. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, down goes Essiman. Beautiful work by Jack Catterall's been outclassing Essiman, and that big left hand landed with oomph on it. 30 seconds left. Catterall did a beautiful job of just touching and outboxing Essiman, and now he finishing him with a barrage of shots. That was a beautiful left hand. I want to see that on the replay. So I still look to your point. I suspect that the Fury that big straight left hand again. Essiman is on wobbly legs down the stretch of the fourth. Good job by Catterall, not just letting this fight become monotonous and drag on. He's a step or two ahead of Essiman, and it looks like he's about to prove it. Essiman bleeding from the nose. Let's see that left hand real quick, and we'll get back to blabbing on. Where would I put Roy Jones with if he'd retire after the first Tarver win? It was a counter right hook left hand by Catterall. He's been winning the battle of distance all night with Essiman with the jab, and then he got you on a string. Makes you reach, he teach. That's what he did. Made Essiman reach, countered with a right hook, left hand, dropped him. Beautiful two-piece counter by Jack Catterall. What was I saying? I still think that the Fury that fought Wilder in the rematch, I think he could have beaten Usyk. And I think Holyfield was greater than Usyk. Even though Usyk probably had the better run at cruiserweight. But I don't know. I don't got nothing really bad to say about Usyk. I didn't like him throwing cold water on Italma. But Italma isn't super hot for that fight either. So I'm going to just let Usyk live right now. Do I think, am I still partial to Ali or Lennox or Holyfield? Yeah. But Usyk's a bad motherfucker. 20 seconds into the fifth. Catterall, big straight left hands. Essiman on wobbly legs. Come on, Jack. Get us to the main event, brother. Finish the job. 1-2 for Catterall. Essiman just trying to recover, stabilize himself. Catterall, not the kind of guy who's going to step up on another gear too often. He likes to keep it in this gear. He opened up with a combination last round after he dropped Essiman, but now he's back to just, pop-shotting, fighting off his jab, stepping around to his right, keeping the lead hand in Essiman's face. Left uppercut sneaks in for Catterall, touching with the jab at will, toying with Essiman, really. Like, just in control of the dude. Right hook, straight left hand, touches with the up jab. 1-2, splits the high guard for Catterall, right in the center of the ring. Catterall doing what he wants in there. Man, just touching with the jab, back steps, brushes the referee off, back in the center of the ring, jabbing from his hip, trying to do a pull left uppercut counter. Catterall, if the fight's this easy for you, you could always step it up. Step to him. End it with a combination. Put some combinations together. But no, he's comfortable just dominating at this pace, at this range. Nice jab. Sets up a counter right hook, left hand. Essiman's face not holding up well, bleeding from it. They're going to have to call this thing pretty soon. Minute left in the round. Essiman can't just deal with the back foot game of Jack Catterall. Little half steps back. He'll even step his way all the way into a corner. Shoot a looping left hand. Pawn with the jab. Shoulder roll for Catterall. Sweeps the left hand of the body. Touching with the jab. I mean, just touching the jab at will. Not even having to throw it at full speed. He could just measure and touch Essiman up at will with that jab. Blood on the canvas from Essiman. Catterall, lead hand low, totally comfortable, totally in control. Double, triple jab, just stabbing with it up top against the high guard. Yeah, Catterall able to just take those little half steps back at will. Touch with the jab. Just totally got Essiman on a string. Come on, Jack. Close the show, brother. We ready to get to the main event time. Yeah, hey, chat. Hey, Sean. What's up, Maria? Yeah, this is Jack's game. You got to give him angles like Barboza did. If you just come in, straight out, he's just going to half step. He's great at that. If you just come in and out, straight lines, Jack's going to box your ears off, line you up for left hands. He's got a really good sense of distance with guys who just come in and out. But Barboza gave him angles, used lateral movement, made him pick his feet up. Didn't let him just settle into that groove with the lead hand down, half step back, half step in, touch with the jab, daring you to pass that line to snipe you with the left hand uppercut or straight left hand. He'll throw in the hook with the hand all the way low, touch you, boom, with the hook here. And then just do that all night, rinse and repeat if you don't force him to pick his feet up and give some angles. And Barboza did that really well in their fight. Matt Borgeson, thank you for the super chat, brother. Said, after the MJ win for Inoue, nearly flawless, do you think he's the greatest bantamweight ever? You could put him in the argument. No, Nakatani win then? Yeah, I mean, it was him in the Idor Jorfe, right? That would it come down to. I mean, and what, Mark Too Sharp Johnson? Those are the guys that come to mind. I don't want to pretend to know the bantamweight division that deeply. The great fighters I think of around flyweight and bantamweight, I know Johnny Tapia was really great as a flyweight, not as much as a bantamweight. But yeah, I think just him being the only undisputed champ in that division in the 4-belt era. I don't even know if there was an undisputed champ at bantamweight in the 3-belt era. Those guys didn't unify and become undisputed a whole lot. They tended to grab a belt and defend it routinely in their home countries in those weight classes. They didn't unify a whole lot. So for Inoue to be this guy blowing through divisions and grabbing multiple belts, it's kind of unprecedented in those lower weight classes. You know, Pacquiao didn't start doing that till he got to featherweight. He didn't do it at bantamweight and flyweight. So, yeah, I think even without me doing a ton of research and Jemro bringing up Jorfe, yeah, Jorfe's the name that when I grew up was always considered the GOAT bantamweight. But Inoue, I remember watching tape on Jorfe, just roughly on top of the head, going back to the tapes I had of Jorfe, I would favor Inoue. So yeah, he literally might be the greatest bantamweight in boxing history. But all right, let's get back to the action. Catterall, it's a matter of time. I don't see how Essiman's going to make it to the 12th with his face busted up like that. Already hit the canvas, has no answers. He's just stiff and straight up and down for Catterall. 1-2 for Catterall again. Minute left in the round. Catterall not going to throw 4 and 5. He's going to keep it at 1, 2, 3 max for the most part. Nice jab to the body by Catterall. Just staying in the middle of the ring. Knows his distance really well. Knows Essiman doesn't have quick enough hands or feet to catch up to him at this range and in the center of the ring. And then Essiman drives him to the ropes, misses a big right hand. Catterall looking a little bit tired, though. Let's see, come on. Set him up for a kill shot, Catterall. Take his eyes downstairs. Sweep a left hand up top. Give us something, man. We're ready for main event time. Catterall just stepping back, fencing with his jab. Left uppercut. Sweeps the left hand up top. Both blocked. Looking a little bit more tired now. But yeah, Jack Catterall, he's got that wide base. So again, if you let him just kind of plant his feet, let him just have to take little steps in and out, that's his game all day. But if you make that wide base have to move laterally, that gives Catterall problems. And that's certainly not what Echo Esimman's doing. So let me see. Matt Borgeson, thank you for the super chat again, brother. Said, I really like the new Bozy trainer for Jack now. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing it show up a whole lot tonight. He's still doing the main thing he tends to do. I haven't seen him fight in the pocket a lot like Bozy's made Andy Cruz do. But speaking of Bozy, I love Murataya and Andy Cruz in the first month of next year. Love that fight. I'm favoring Cruz, but Murataya, man, if he shows up with a chip on his shoulder, because a lot of us in the media will be picking Cruz, and even though he's won a belt, nobody's really checking on him. No one cares. If Murataya brings more of a sense of urgency, like when he knocked out Nakatia in 3 rounds, if he brings a chip on his shoulder, he might knock Andy Cruz out. He might catch him with a big shot, because Murataya has hand speed and skills, but he fights at too slow a pace. And if he fights at that slow a pace for the first time against a guy probably quicker and more athletic than him in Cruz, he's probably going to lose his belt. But if he shows up with a little bit of a sense of urgency and punches with Cruz, then he might get him and catch him and hurt him and stop him. But I really look forward to that fight. What's up, Matthew? Let's see. Matt Borgeson, thank you again, brother, for the super chat. Says, Bam beats Puma. He's getting to that flyweight GOAT convo for me, at least. Just the names and kind of how perfect he is mechanically since Estrada. No, he's special, bro. He might be better than Chocolatito, and Chocolatito was incredible. But Chocolatito didn't have his versatility. Bam, his movement gives him an element that Chocolatito didn't have. Chocolatito was amazing, but didn't really have lateral movement, and he had to fight in the pocket, and he was great at getting there. Chocolatito, once he was in the pocket, was a gorgeous fighter to watch. He's amazing. But he didn't have Bam Rodriguez's feet and athleticism in that sense. So I think Bam could be even greater than Chocolatito. And that's saying a hell of a lot, man. But, yeah, I got Bam over Puma. But it should be a good-ass fight, though. It should be a good fight. But Bam should just be too much for even an undefeated, in his prime guy like Puma Martinez. So I got Bam number 5 pound for pound. Minute left in the 7th. Esimman's tough. Catterall got a quickness advantage, hand speed advantage, skill advantage, timing advantage. Esimman's right eye closing up. It's just a matter of time. What you got to critique on Catterall here is he just still doesn't have that extra gear. He's had a dead man in front of him for a few rounds that he put on his ass rounds ago, and yet he's still here. And now Essiman gets Catterall against the ropes, digs some shots in. Catterall has to retreat, tie up. 30 seconds left in the 7th round. You know, if Catterall ended this fight a round or 2 or 3 ago, you'd be, wow, Jack Catterall back with a really decisive performance, with a statement. But each round that goes by that he lets Essiman swim in there makes it less of a statement. Essiman punching out of the clinch. Essiman kind of finishing with some good shots down the stretch of that round. Catterall on his way to winning, but Puma's the most dangerous on his resume, not going to lie. Yeah, I can believe that, Matt, because a lot of the great fighters he beat were aging. Estrada, Cuadras, Srisaket Sorenvisai. Those guys are probably all, definitely Estrada. Estrada looks shot. And Bam made him look shot, but he also kind of looked shot. And yeah, so I agree because this is a young prime guy. Remember, who's that guy on the Canelo Golovkin 3 undercard that made Bam look human? And he doesn't even have a name. So yeah, to your point, fighting a fresh, undefeated guy in their prime, you could argue it's actually a tougher fight than all those bigger names that were older. So, oh, my wife is taking my son to piano. Let me say, have a great piano class, Leo. Shit, I gotta sign out. I gotta sign out of Vegas Sports Today and get on my Sean Zittel account so I can start a poll. Gemro says he thinks he's peaked too early. He's skeptical he can even coast to the W now. Really, you think it's that drastic? You think Essiman's going to start getting downhill on Catterall and Catterall's going to be fatigued and get beat up a little bit? I don't know, man. Essiman's limited. But we did see Ishmael Davis do this to Tilly, Sam Gilly on the undercard. So maybe that's happened. Catterall just got a little frustrated and threw Essiman off of him. 34, he isn't young. Who are we talking about isn't young? Matt. Who are we talking about? Okay, refresh my memory. I'm sorry, Matt. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, remember Essiman is known as the engine because he keeps such a high pace, and Catterall looks gassed as hell. You might be right. Let's see. Catterall throwing some 1-2s, throwing the right hook, left uppercut, but a little bit off the mark now. Essiman actually takes a step out of range and makes him fall short with those shots. Catterall reaching for shots. See what I mean? Just using your feet a little bit makes Catterall reach. But now Essiman gets back into Catterall's sweet spot range. Catterall firing some 1-2s and then ties up Essiman in the headlock. Puma's 34. Yeah. No, thank you, Matt. Yeah, he's 34. But he's a fresher 34. He's probably going to get steamrolled, honestly, because he's shot too. I got to watch his most recent fights. I covered it. When he won the title in upset and Cajas, I was there. He was young then, younger. But he doesn't have the mileage and the number of fights, guy. I mean, what? Swissaket, Soren Visai, Estrada, these guys had like 50 fights. Yeah, Catterall's in retreat a little bit. Essiman on top of him. Essiman reminds me of Buatsi, Ishmael Davis. Why is that, chat? Can someone explain that to me? Dude reminds me of Josh Buatsi and Ishmael Davis a little bit. Nice counter right hook by Catterall. Catterall not with the same steam and oomph on his punches right now. Catterall counter right hook, left uppercut, but again, not the same steam on those shots. Essiman not with a lot of snap on his punches either, though. How did Josh Taylor lose to this D-level fighter, says C Money. Styles make fights. Catterall, if you come right to him, you know, he's good at that. He's good at lining you up out of his southpaw stance and all that. And Taylor, even though he's a tall guy, his best work always came mid-range to close range. The Tartan Tornado, he liked to put you in close and blend you. He wasn't a rangy guy, even though he was tall. And Taylor was kind of washed by the time. We didn't know it, but Taylor, after winning Undisputed, peaked and was all downhill from there. It was a good style matchup for Catterall. And he wasn't fighting Taylor at his best anymore. So, good style matchup. Josh Taylor fading before our eyes. And you got what you got. And that's why I think a lot of the fighters lecture us about, you guys don't know boxing, you judge it by names and popularity. What they mean is, your hard fights, Floyd will always say this, but it's true. Your hard fights always aren't against the biggest name or the most decorated guy. Timing matters. Styles make fights matters, that kind of thing. The weight cut, all that type of shit. All those different ingredients leads to the outcomes more than name recognition and resume and even experience sometimes. So, yeah. Jacked, that's why he's got muscles, yeah. Matt saying, yeah, he's been in wars, bro, talking about Puma Martinez recently. Secret Dan says, depends how much Catterall got left. He's looking very tired, but may last the fight out. I just think Essiman is looking a little too limited, and I'm not seeing that snappy power. He's gonna Catterall would have to gas out to where Essiman is just going downhill, clubbing him repeatedly, body head. A couple of nice moments driving Catterall to the ropes and landing to the body and head isn't going to be enough. Essiman would have to do a sustained kind of beat down, and Catterall's got his wits about him enough to not let that happen. And Catterall won the last round. Good straight left hands to the body by Catterall. Essiman in no man's land when Catterall fences behind that southpaw jab. Essiman getting him to the corner. Catterall ties him up. Minute into the ninth. Sean, how would you rank Pacheco, Shiraz, Mabili, Iglesias from best to weakest? I have to watch more on Iglesias, but I know he's a good prospect. I would put Mabili last, Pacheco second, and Shiraz first. And Iglesias, I got to watch. I would have to get back to you on that. So, I don't know if Pacheco beats Mabili right now, though. But I think Pacheco is on his way to being better. I like that he got changed trainers. I love Jose Sr., but I don't think their style was a good fit. Benavidez, I don't think that was the right style for Pacheco. I don't think they were making the most out of Pacheco's length. So I think Pacheco, he made a good move going with a new trainer. Catterall steps in with a combination, kind of throws the right hook, sweeps the left hand, puts a couple shots together, and knocks Essiman back. Straight left hand by Catterall. Catterall back against the ropes. Essiman misses a sweeping right hand. Catterall check right hook. Essiman clinches him. Minute left in the ninth. Yeah, Essiman just keeps coming, but he's not finding the home with anything, and he's still walking into shots. And I think letting Catterall just fight at this distance and this pace, he's caught his breath. He's catching his breath, regaining some of his fatigue here. Or not regaining anything, but just Essiman's not able to push the pace enough effectively. Essiman having some moments here on the inside. Catterall tired, clinching. Some body work by Essiman. More body work by Essiman. Catterall didn't like that, and the referee warns him from holding. Essiman getting work done in the clinch. That's where he can get his work done to the body. 1-2 by Catterall. Check right hook by Catterall, but he eats a straight right hand. Catterall looking a little weary here in the last 10. Essiman pins him against the ropes. Catterall ties him up. Works a free hand in the body there. Man, this shit is tough to commentate. Sean, yeah, let me see. If Fulton beats Foster, he's a Hall of Famer. Probably. The Hall of Fame talk is tough. I don't think he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. I think we're getting to the point in boxing because you have 3 people have to get in every year. That guys that aren't really truly bona fide Hall of Famers are just going to get in now. It's going to get to the point where anybody who is good is going to get in, because there's a 3 minimum every year that 3 people have to get in. It's not like baseball. So I think bona fide Hall of Famers and guys that eventually get in is kind of 2 separate categories, but whatever. Round 10, yeah. Catterall not liking those body shots. He's not. But he's ahead, and we'll see. Catterall back on the ropes. Fences Essiman off, drives him back just to get him back in the center of the ring. Double jab by Catterall. Left uppercut. On the back foot. Back near the ropes now. Essiman gets in close. Can't get anything too much done. No, sweeping right hand to the body by Essiman to the solar plexus. Catterall has to clinch him off the ropes there. Essiman throwing a lot of those sweeping right hands. Squares his body up, his shoulders up a little bit when he throws it. And that's being stiff, not able to get off without squaring those shoulders up a little bit. Yeah, Essiman's just a little slow and stiff. Catterall quicker on the trigger. Good jab by Catterall. Essiman squares his body up a lot and eats that jab and then falls short with his right hand. And good boxers make you do that. Good counter punchers, they just make you feel uncomfortable. They make you square up more than you want to. But they give you half their body, so you're trying to get closer. It's difficult. Essiman again stepping in with a jab, sweeping right hand. Catterall just dips his head down to the left, gets his head off the line, makes him miss and flail. Catterall kind of bullied into the ropes there halfway through the 10th. Not a super fun fight to commentate, but Charles N says, like the NFL, they're starting to let everybody in. It's actually harder in the NFL still, though. Torrey Holt's not in. Jimmy Smith's not in. Fred Taylor's not in. Catterall goes through the ropes, knocked through the ropes out of fatigue. Kind of got bullied and bull rushed into the ropes. No punch did it, but Catterall falls through the ropes. Catterall's gas tank ain't that good, man. He faded late against Taylor in both fights. He's fading here against Essiman. And these are the little flaws, while an excellent fighter in his own right, that are just going to hold him back from being a world champion. The gas tank doesn't throw combinations a whole lot. Fights at one speed. He's good, and the steam in his punches haven't been the same for rounds now. Still landing on Essiman at long range in the center of the ring, but not the same snap in his punches as there were earlier when he dropped them. All right, let's ask Chad who they got in the main event. Hold on. Shakur is more refined than Devin, like how Sean says about Crawford and Boots. Yeah, well, just go back to their sparring. When they boxed, when they were doing a clean boxing match, Shakur was a touch faster and sharper down the middle. And the way Devin actually swung the momentum in that sparring session was by using his advantages, which in that matchup aren't his boxing skills and his speed. It was his size. And Devin, when he started going downhill on Shakur, did a lot better. And actually makes me think their fight could catch people by surprise and be funner than people think, because Devin is going to fight Shakur kind of how he fought Lomachenko. He's going to try and be the bigger man and impose his size on him, like he did against Loma. And Devin had more success doing that. But to your point, when they boxed at a clean range and just kind of who had the better jab, who had the better backhand, and the quicker feet and all that, Shakur had the edge there. Devin had more success imposing his size on Shakur. So, yeah. So today, let me start a poll. Who do we got, chat? Who wins the rematch? Conor Benn. Adam Smith voice. Chris Eubank Jr. All right, Conor Benn. All right, there you go. There's the official chat. Essiman down again in the 11th while I was making that. And they resume the action. 2 minutes left in the 11th. Catterall now stepping forward. Left uppercut, right hook to the body. There's a combination by Catterall, and that's the finish. And, oh, man, Essiman falls out of the ring. Referee needs to call this fight. Essiman exhausted, took a lot of punishment, and he's face first down outside of the ring. Catterall closed the show with a very good combination there. Had enough there to close the show. I feel like Catterall could have made that happen a long time ago and actually made it worse on his opponent by not ending it a long time ago, stepping on the gas, because now his opponent took rounds of exhaustion and sweat depleting. And but Essiman down with a scary knockout in the 11th. He took a good amount of punishment and was very tired. So that's a scary stoppage for Jack Catterall. And all joking aside, I wish Catterall would have stepped it up sooner in the fight, because the fatalities come late in the late round stoppages than they do earlier in the fight. So I think Essiman will be okay, but he took a beating there. And kind of a scary scene down there in England for this moment. Um, Roman the Man, thank you, brother. Says, Sean, you're an incredible man. I like the commentary. I wish you were with a major network like ESPN or something else on TV. God bless you, buddy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate those words a lot. Now, let me see here. I want to. So it's funny. We're going to get to the main event. I'll save it for closer to main event time. But Sean, is it true you have epilepsy? Kind of. I did for a couple years, and then it just went away. I don't take medication for it. Haven't had an episode in years. But I went through this spurt for 2 or 3 years where I was having seizures, but they went away. So I don't know if that counts. Kind of, to answer your question. Do I think Roach is stopping Pitbull? No. Pitbull's got a chin, man. No. I'm picking Roach, but I'm not convinced. Pitbull is a little underrated. Maybe he's been a little overrated at other points in his career. Now I think he's a little underrated. I think ever since Ryo boxed his ears off, he's been a little underrated. Pitbull throws heat, and in order to throw heat, there has to be speed on the punches too. Just throwing heavy-handed blows, Pitbull, his velocity is underrated because he's a high guard, short, come forward Mexican fighter. It's not like he's only landing punches one way. He can't fight off the back foot because that would be a retarded idea at 5'2" to try to fight backwards. But his velocity is a little underrated. So, and he takes a hell of a shot, and not as easy to hit at the distance Lamont might be having to hit him with as it's going to be a hell of a fight because Lamont likes to cook in the pocket. But let's see, man. The power may make Roach uncomfortable. And if Roach can't win that fight in the pocket, then where he punches in between, catch and shoot, pull counter, all that shit in the pocket, which he's extremely good at. But if he doesn't like what he's feeling, because that heat is real, and it's sneaking around his guard and and he's getting touched with some shit, and he's never felt power. He fought Tank, but he didn't get hit a lot. If Roach has to get up and use his feet a lot, then I'm not sure he beats Pitbull that way. I think he's got to at some point feel comfortable catching on the guard, catching on the gloves, and countering in the pocket in between to win that fight. And I think if he wins the fight in that scenario, it's going to be super fun to watch, and Roach is going to get a lot of credit because it's going to be an exciting fight that he wins. That he's winning. He'll be beating Cruz at his own game a little bit. And that's how we get a really fun fight next month, is that Roach feels like he's comfortable against the power, and he's willing to stay in the pocket with Cruz. That's going to be really fun to watch. And I favor Roach to do that. I do suspect Roach will take the power comfortably enough that he can pull off his exquisite pocket work and be a little bit cleaner with his work than Pitbull's able to. But I don't know, man. Pitbull might run his ass over. Pitbull might be a little bit too much for him coming all the way up from 130. Only had one fight at 135. So, we'll see. Tay-Day, thank you, brother, for the super chat. Sends me $10 just to say, just cuz, my guy. Thank you, Tay-Day. I'm trying. It was a bit of rough undercard, but we only got about 200 people in here, but thank you, Tay-Day. I appreciate it, bro. Gemro, thank you, brother, for the super chat again. And he says, why are so many folks picking Conor Benn this time? Weight cut, youth, what's his ceiling? Do you think he can compete against Haney and Shakur? Talented, but I don't know. He is talented. He's explosive. And that's why the steroid stuff was such a bad look for him, because his calling card is his explosiveness. It's not that he's super crafty or skilled. He's a good athlete, and it's the power-speed combo. So when that's your calling card, and then it looks a little diminished, and when it's landing, it's not putting people to sleep like it was before you got caught. 2 + 2 is 4. I think people are picking Ben for everything you said, the weight cut, the youth. And I think if you're picking Ben too, you're taking into the fact that Eubank with the weight cut, 36 years old, how many times can you go to the well? And Eubank was the guy who got hurt a couple times early in that fight. What was it? One of the first 4 rounds, he got caught with a left hook, and I think it was the third round. And he got badly wobbled. He talked shit through it, managed his way through it. And then again in like 7 or 8, he got hurt again. So there was a few times Ben put him on skates. And then he went to the well, fighting on fumes in the last several rounds with a brutal weight cut at 35, 36. He went to the well, and there's only so many times you can go to the well. If he has to go to that well again tonight, is that well there to pull from? Maybe not. It's very logical to think no. So I think picking Ben between all those reasons is not an illogical pick. But I favor Eubank. I favor Eubank because he was the better man the first time. He has the Bomac factor. I think the best Eubank ever looked was in the rematch with Liam Smith, and that was with Bomac. Bomac's back, and Bomac's an amazing trainer, and that's an X factor for Eubank. And I think I didn't sense anything from Conor Benn that, as much as I critique the worship of celebrity and everything, and I think people go too far with it, with the Mamba mentality, with Kobe and all that. But what Kobe did explain very articulately was you have to let pain settle into your losses. You have to let the salt rub into your wounds because you ultimately feed off of that. It propels you to victory, to righting the wrongs. And to that point, I don't know, chat. You tell me. I don't think Conor Benn really let those wounds settle in. He's already back to talking about, I got a free car off of you because you couldn't make weight. And just a little bit too much brash shit talking and not enough, fuck, man, I lost that first fight. I'm mad about it. I'm upset about it. It's been hard to sleep at night the last couple months. I let my dad down, I told my dad I'd get the job done. I'd avenge the family name. I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that. No, instead, he kind of patted himself on the back in a loss. I gave it a good go, yeah. And then he felt sorry for himself in the ring after the decision was announced, and then patted himself on the back afterwards for giving the fans a great fight. And then he goes right back to talking shit about, haha, I got a free car off of you. And I'm playing armchair psychologist, no doubt about it. But I look at these things and I think, I don't know if you really learned what you needed to learn. If you get what I mean. I don't know if, like Kobe said, you let that pain settle in enough to propel you. On the contrary, Eubank has a little bit of this demeanor too. I like you, little bro. I like you. I like you. I respect you now. I got to go ahead and end this thing. I got to go ahead and make this 2-zip and close the show. I like you, little bro. I got to end this show. And then afterwards, I'm your big bro. I'm bigger than you in weight. I'm older than you. And now I've beaten you twice. So after that, we're cool, little bro. That's what I'm getting from Eubank is he's laughing at, oh, yeah, you got a new car off of me and all. He's like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. I'm going to spank that little ass again. I brought in Bomac this time. We're ending this rivalry 2-zip, and we're ending this rivalry between our family names once and for all tonight. I'm sensing that a little bit of that confidence from Eubank. Conor Benn is a warrior. I like that about Conor Benn. His hair is always on fire. He's a spitfire personality. He's got a lot of heart and balls. But I look at Eubank in the dressing room right now. It's like time to finish the job. Eubank has more of that Kobe Bryant, job's not finished, time to finish the job. Ben is still patting himself on the back and still brash and talking shit. You acting like he didn't beat you the first time, which maybe that's a good thing though, right? Maybe that's a good thing. Conor Benn as confident and as headstrong as ever. And this time at Eubank with another brutal weight cut, more months on the calendar, having come off a 12-round war. The fresher, younger guy will get him this time, will hurt him again, and this time will stop him. Maybe that's what's about to happen. I don't know. That's why they fight the fights. But I might go 0 for 2 with these two because I picked Ben the first time. Eubank won. I'm leaning towards Eubank this time. Watch Ben win the rematch. So I'm going to get to a point I want to make about this fight in a second. Matt Borgeson, thank you, brother, said, I'm not sold on him at all, talking about Lamont Roach. the Herring fight. Yeah, I hear you. You know, we'll see. He does look like he's gotten better though. And Matt, when he won the title off of Garcia, Hector Luis, he showed me something in that fight. He showed me he had a sense for the moment. He had and that's a credit to his growth as a fighter because he fought like a guy late in that fight who lost to Jamel Herring the first time he had a bite at the apple. And this time he wasn't going to let an opportunity slip through his hands, and he dropped Garcia late in that fight and took the belt off of him by knocking him down late. Then in that defense against McCrory, Feargrow McCrory, I had never heard of him from Ireland, but he knocked him out. He got him out of there. And then against Tank, after Tank hit him with that right hook where Lamont dropped his hands and was like, huh. After that, he got to cooking and was the better fighter against Tank, who was flat that night. So you're right. It's not like he's shown us enough data that, oh, Lamont Roach is an elite fighter. He got a flat Tank, fought a really boring first half of the fight, and won the second half of the fight, and probably should have won the fight. But we'll see. I got a super chat. Thank you, Maria, so much. Said, while we're waiting for the main event chat, take a moment to subscribe to Vegas Sports Today. Oh, thank you so much, Maria. Yeah, that's my football channel where we cover the Raiders and got some NBA stuff. I got some Team USA footage on there. I'll be covering the NBA Cup here in Vegas next month. I interviewed Stephen A. Smith last year and asked him about Benavidez Morel. I'm going to try and get Stephen A. again to talk some boxing at the NBA Cup. But thank you, Maria. And Maria, shout out to my man, Matt. Matt says, going to be the same fight as last time, Sean. Chris will beat Ben again. It's a money grab. Solid take, Matt. Maria says, I've got Eubank from his demeanor at the weigh-in. I got the feeling he wanted to end things early. That's what I get, Maria. I get the feeling that the vibe I got from Eubank this week was, I like you, little bro. Time to end this. Time to end this between us. Time to end this between, it's 2 mil from us. My dad, your pops had to settle for a draw, never beat my pops. It's over. The Eubanks have won this rivalry. It's done and over with. Let's be cool now, little bro. That's the vibe I'm getting from Eubank. And so here's what I want to say about this fight. Does anyone in the chat recall that I was being a dick the first fight? I was just clowning it. I'm like, why? This is a non-title fight between two guys who are roughly in the top 10 of their weight classes, but they're not fighting in their weight classes. Non-title fight. Chris Eubank Jr. thinks he's the biggest thing since sliced bread, and he's never won a title, and is a self-admitted asshole to a degree. And then Conor Benn, tested positive for PEDs and talks a whole bunch of shit, and again, has never won a title. I'm not saying I didn't. I really liked the first fight, by the way. I just thought it was really overrated. You had Adam Smith damn near ejaculating on broadcast, being like, oh, there is the picture of the year. You got Chris Eubank Sr., who's telling my man Radio Raheem, you guys in the media have to steer us away from this WWE nonsense that this fight is, only for him to have the most WWE type of Monday Night Raw entrance with his son pre-fight. And their fight got more attention. The bone I had to pick was, this is all sizzle, not substance stuff. The dads, there's not even a title, but they're fighting in a sold-out stadium because of storylines. Meanwhile, Venado Angelo Leo last year, fought in front of 500 people for a world title in a great fight that Angelo Leo got the knockout of the year in. Raymond Ford had to fight in front of like 1,000 people as a slight underdog against Klomatov, had to come from behind on the scorecards on the front foot, knock him out in the 12th round in a title fight. That was mwah, and nobody gave a shit. But everybody, in my eyes, was kind of pretending this is the biggest thing ever and all that. And I'm like, yo, it's a good fight, but it's a good little non-title, for good storyline and everything, but chill out. And so I was kind of being a dick. I was being the negative Nancy. I was not being fun at the party. But I feel like my take kind of aged well, because everybody this rematch have been saying, man, there's no buzz. There's no buzz. Nobody cares about this fight like the first fight. And I would contend it's because the fight is left to stand on its own too now. You know what I mean? Now, some of that window dressing has worn off. Some of the sizzle in the steak, it's cooled off, and now you got to eat the fucking steak. And we're about to eat this steak, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think the first fight was good, and the second fight's going to be good, and it is a good storyline. And their fathers were really good champions. I voted for Nigel Benn to make the Hall of Fame this year on my ballot. But my point I'm making is, with some of that hoopla removed a little bit, or died down, or tempered down, and with the fight left to stand on its own too now, it doesn't have as much of the energy surrounding it this time. So that's the point I would make. Good buddy Taylor said, "Stop crying." I don't think I'm crying. I think I was making a point, but maybe you're right. Helio Films. I gotta take a piss before main event time, chat. I'm gonna be honest. So right before main event starts, keep it locked in, chat. Right before main event time. Okay, all right. So I don't know why I had to scratch my legs, but okay. So good comment in the chat. I want to address a little bit, and that's from Gemro. So Gemro points out, in the midst of my critique of Ben and Eubank, it's still bigger than 90% of the fights we see build-up wise. I'd say 99%, not even just 90, and it even higher than 90%. And Gemro says boxing needs moments and narratives just like any other sport. So I agree, but here's the deep point I was getting at was those storylines and narratives did exist with Angelo Leo and Venado Lopez. Venado Lopez from Mexico has a wild and unorthodox style. He's called Venado, the deer. Angelo Leo fighting in his hometown as a 3 or 4 to 1 underdog against Venado, Mexican American against the real Mexican from Mexico. That dynamic is always there. And even though and he's fighting in front of his hometown of Albuquerque, the home of Johnny Tapia, trying to make it, put Albuquerque on the map for the first time in boxing since Johnny Tapia as an underdog against a wild, unorthodox guy who calls himself Deer. And what does Angelo Leo dress up as a 4 to 1 underdog in his hometown? Dresses up as the fucking Deer Hunter, like De Niro and Deer Hunter in the 70s, and knocks him the fuck out in the knockout of the year. And he was sleeping in cars with his dad back in Albuquerque. They had to struggle. They had to go from gym to gym in Vegas. Then Floyd Mayweather discovers him. They win a title under him. They fall out of favor with Mayweather Promotions. They go to Top Rank. He rebuilds himself on Pro Box TV and then knocks him the fuck out in his hometown as a 4 to 1 underdog. That is enough storyline and narrative. But it's not the daddies have beef and an egg being slapped over and Raymond Ford fighting on the East Coast in front of his home as an underdog, having to fight. What's up, chat? We still good? We still good, chat? All right, I got us back online. I'm sorry. Yo, chat, what happened is it's raining today in Las Vegas. So I'm losing. That's why I lost the internet. It is raining. Are we back, though? We good? All right, yeah. It's raining in Vegas today, chat. That's what it is. Yep. Man, let's get to main event time, though, man. Let's go. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Shit, I'm going to have to keep the chat open on my phone. Good. We're all good. All right, we're good. Venado Lopez had the stream cut off. No, just the point I was making was, you know, that kind of stuff, it shouldn't take such sensational, over-the-top storylines for people to feel like they have a story to watch and to gravitate to. Anyway, Conor Benn coming to the ring now. Smaller man. Looks ready to go. But more of the same that I saw from him coming to the ring for the first one. He was a little bit nervous under those bright lights the first time. He should be a little bit more used to them in this rematch. So now he's working his punches. Looks a little bit more confident and comfortable under these bright lights the second time around. So that should help him out. Here he comes. I'm expecting Eubank to come with that very cocky aura that I've come tonight to take it in and finish the job. And Conor Benn coming in, ready to fight. Definitely a fighter's fighter. He's a warrior, Conor Benn. Might have limited skills when it comes to counterpunching and distance, but he has good instincts, good speed, good power. That hasn't been the same since he's, you know, popped hot for shit, but he looks more comfortable on this stage for sure. They're playing, they got a band playing for him. Damn, we lost some people in the chat because of that internet connection, huh? I have a feeling Top Rank is going co-promotional. Matt Borgeson, they got to come up with something. If they were younger, if Aaron was 20, 30 years younger, he would say, fuck it, we'll stream. We'll figure it. Aiden Ross fucking does it. Why can't we do it? So, but here's Conor Benn now. Feeling, you know, hyped up with his pops. Again, he looks more comfortable and confident on this stage. The first time he looked a little nervous, a little tense coming out there. This time, he's able to maintain his energy he has in the build-up to the fight a little bit more for his ring walk. Because honestly, that first fight, it was like, whoa, where's the brash, confident, ferocious guy? You look, these lights look a little bit bright for you, but this time he looks good to go. So, man, are we good internet-wise, chat? Matt Borgeson said more like overconfident and ready to lose. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. You got to be a little delusional to do what these guys do. But did he address enough mistakes in camp? Does he have any game plan to cut distance, to deal with the length of Eubank? Or is he going to just try to jump in with his athleticism without any kind of discipline game plan to maneuver and get off at the right angles, at the right time, at the right distance? Or is he going to swing for the fences again against a craftier veteran in Eubank Jr., who's got that length advantage behind the jab? We'll see. Conor Benn in the ring now. And again, looks more confident and on this stage than he did back in April. So, Matt saying he's going to do the exact same thing he did last time. We shall see. It is main event time now. For Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. Just a lot of drum playing. Is this Questlove from The Roots? It's not, but I'm being funny. I don't know what song this is. I put it on for 2 seconds, chat. Does anybody in the chat know what song Conor Benn just came out to? Conor Benn should have brought in Sean Porter in this camp for some tips. They've sparred. I mean, Sean sparred with him, gave him the work. So they've sparred before, just not for this camp. But I think they sparred this year. This year or last year. Queso Diamante says Chris Eubank by stoppage. Ben will get peppered by that jab, will be outboxed. Ben will get emotional and get stuffed. Matt says Ben even said, I fight emotionally. That's just how I am. Going to cost him in the long run just to be focused. What's my prediction on the main event? I'm favoring Eubank, but, you know, could be that Eubank left it all in the ring in the first fight and had another rough weight cut. He did get hurt a couple times in the first fight. So, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have a super strong feeling one way or the other. Give the edge to Eubank, though. With Bomac, how he performed in the first fight. And just sensing from both fighters, Ben is Ben. hat on fire, ready to fight, ready to throw some bombs. Eubank, a little bit more mentally mature, has a sense for the moment, seems to think, let's finish this thing off tonight. 2-0, be done with it, and make some real crazy money against Canelo or something. But if I'm Riyadh season, I'm putting Canelo in with Shiraz. I mean, I might do Canelo Eubank because I think Canelo was, but I don't know. Canelo at this stage coming off the Crawford, yeah, I think he can still beat Eubank. But I think the most lucrative thing Riyadh could do now is to just hope Shiraz could beat Canelo, and then you could just keep building fights in the Middle East with Shiraz. I don't know. I don't care about their plans. All right, Michael Buffer getting ready to announce Chris Eubank Jr. now. Oh, he came out to In the Air Tonight from Phil Collins. Okay, all right. Well, that's a good song choice always. That always works. So here comes Eubank to the ring now. Big white mink coat. That thing is nice. Looks cozy. Chris Eubank Sr. by his side. Scarfed out. Noah Hunt? No, this is just a live round by round, brother. We do not have rights to the fight. Here comes, yep, Eubank with that very confident, stoned face. Eubank carries with him that air of superiority, elitism. My father was a champion. I'm the son of royalty. We're British aristocracy and royalty here in these parts. And this crude Conor Benn will not be besting me tonight. Not at all. And that's how Chris Eubank Jr. is coming into the ring. Matt Borgenson says, Eubank has twins on the way. Will he lose fire? I don't think so. He seems to be going through his self-actualization. He's very happy with himself right now. And, I think, he's coming out with 50 Cent. Damn, what song? What are they doing? Many Men, of course. He's coming out to Many Men. And the crowd loves it. Wish death on me. That's such a great song. Don't look to the sky no more. Well, Chris Eubank Jr. wins the battle of the walkout songs. It's always dope. 50 Cent gets some shine. Hey, thank you so much. Just Card Presume said, biggest compliment I can pay you, Sean. Volume's on mute, fights on, you are my audio. I got you, brother. I will take that task to heart. Is that Rod Stewart in the audience? That's funny. I feel like I'm the underground king and I ain't been crowned. And that when I rhyme, something special happens every time. And I'm the greatest. Something like Ali in his prime. But that's just me. They're playing Wanksta now. Let me see. Let me hear this for 1 second. That was the first one from 50 that hit the radio. Before all that other shit off Get Rich or Die Trying was Wanksta. I remember when that shit hit in 2002, it was like, because the older kids, I was 11, and it was the older kids like, 50 Cent G-Unit, you don't know what that is? Blah, 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 you're not cool, you're lame. And then I heard it like the rest of America and bought the album like the rest of America. So, yeah, that was fire. Chris Eubank Sr. Jr. coming in with the superior aura. Coming in with the white mink coat, 50 Cent wrapping him to the ring. His dad looking serious, stone-faced with the mink scarf. And here comes Chris Eubank now getting meaner, getting a scowl on his face, going from cocky Brit to mean scowl, spiteful man. And Chris Eubank Jr. looks ready, yeah, to do the job. Let's see if he does it, though. Let's see. Do I think 50 what? Let me see. Someone asked the 50 Cent question. Do I think Turkey curated 50 Cent himself. He might have. Yeah, good call. He might have, but I don't know, man. I'm sure Eubank Jr is 36. He's 2 years older than me. He grew up. He was said older kid telling me, the uncool 11-year-old, about 50 Cent in 2002. So nah, let's give Eubank credit. Conor Benn kind of has a look on his face too of, oh shit, maybe it's not my night. Conor Benn doesn't look as confident now that Eubank's in the ring. Eubank has walked into that bitch like it's my ring. Chris Eubank Sr. has his back to Conor Benn in the center of the ring and is, shuffling and dancing. Eubank Jr. has the entire Bomax. Eubank Jr. has Silent Bob in the corner as a cut man. Silent Bob, the best hand wrap man in the business out here in Vegas. Eubank Jr. is going to win. That's the vibes, chat. Eubank Jr. about to win this fight. But we'll see. We'll see. Ring walks and mink coats do not win fights. They don't. So, we shall see. Yeah, J-Dub said Conor Benn thinking, damn, his ring walk is fire. Yeah, you came out to fucking Phil Collins and he had 50 Cent wrap him to the ring. You lose. You lose. Marvelous Irv. What'd you say, Marvelous? Someone needs to come. Thought Marvelous. Yeah, I thought it was a pre-chat before that. Gemro said, Eubank about to little bro Conor Benn for real this time. That's the vibe I get as well. What's up, Lucius Tate? What was the third song? I heard Many Men and Wanksta. What was the final song he came out to? Was it If I Can't Do It? Yeah, the Eubanks are saying this is our ring. This is our... Look, the Benns are great, but you are Joe Frazier. We're Muhammad Ali. You are LaMotta. We are Robinson. You are our foil. We are the star of the show. Look at my man Silent Bob with the White Sox hat on. Shout out to my man Silent Bob Ware. So let's see. Let's see. Did Chris Eubank Jr. just teach Conor Benn how to stunt? Man, that song was obnoxious. That beat was fucking annoying. Oh, it was brutal. Every time it came on the radio, I got a headache. But did Chris Eubank Jr. just teach Conor Benn how to stunt? Oh, Stunt 101 was the last song. I'm happy I had it on mute. My prediction, I got Eubank Jr. But he was put on shaky legs a couple times in fight one. So, I don't got Eubank Jr. all day, but I got Eubank Jr. They're showing Turkey now. You notice I've laid off of Turkey a little bit the last month or two. It's because TKO is the big fish to fry now. Something looks off about Ben, says J-Dub. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Eubanks definitely got the aura in there over Conor Benn. These two are going to probably give us a good fight like they did the first time. Should be good. But you know what? Again, the vibe and everything is Eubank. But again, man, Eubank cut a lot of weight. He went to the well in fight number 1. And Ben still has get back he needs to get for the Ben family. So we'll see, man. Maybe Eubank will be doing well, but maybe this time when he gets caught, it's harder for him to recover. He took so much he took more punishment than Ben did in the first fight. So maybe he won that battle, but maybe he loses the war tonight after all the punishment he had to walk through. Again, the man fought on fumes the last 5 rounds or so of that first fight. And Ben is still young and strong, not even 30 yet. So we'll see, man. This might just come down to Ben is more durable, younger, less miles on him. You know, that might be enough to tip the scales in Ben's favor to overcome the skill gap. We'll see. Ben getting his ring intro here, throwing his uppercuts in the corner. Want to thank everyone who's in the chat right now. Almost 300 people in here. Thank you. So, who could replace Michael Buffer after? I don't know, man. Michael Buffer, I'm over Michael Buffer. Ever since he went to DAZN, and then started mainly doing fights overseas. And then you know, anyway, Buffer's the GOAT, but I'm over it. There used to be a time it felt like something was missing if Michael Buffer wasn't there. I don't care anymore. So now Eubank Jr. getting his introduction, got 50 Cent to his left and Bomac to his right. So his crew is crazy right now. Let's see. J-Dub, that's because Turkey dresses him. Now they go in the intense face-off between these two in the center of the ring. Yeah, well, I mean, it must be a trip. They're in a unique position. Their destinies are linked to one another. More so than your average fighters meeting in a big fight. And that's why this drama is so compelling. Will there be fight number 3, a trilogy, or will Chris Eubank Jr. put an end to the family blood rivalry once and for all? We'll see. We will see. So, who do I have winning, Anthony? Edge to Eubank. Edge to Eubank. But we'll see. Does Crawford want the winner? Nah, Crawford's fights on a higher level than these two. It'd be beneath him to fight the winner. Crawford, go ahead, fight Janibek, man. Go become middleweight champion. All right. Ben got the robe off, got everything off. Eubank and Ben got good chemistry with their face off, very movie-esque. And they don't touch gloves. Eubank, is he rocking the Kronk today? Is he even shouting out the Kronk gym today with the shorts selection? Kinda. No, there's not the blue. No, it's just yellow. Just yellow trunks. Ben tapping his chin before the bell starts. Eubank with those yellow, almost Kronk gym-like trunks, but they're not Kronk trunks. And Eubank wearing the winning gloves again today. Ben with more of the puncher's glove. All right, round 1 and we start. Ben step into Eubank a little bit here. Eubank shuffling his feet to the right. Ben pawing with his lead hand. Jumping in and out of range is Ben early on. Eubank a little jittery early on. Ben trying to feint and jump in and out. Eubank first 1-2 misses over the top. A little sluggish on that 1-2 by Chris Eubank Jr. Eubank's back touch the ropes. Double jab to get his way off the ropes. Ben jumps in with a jab. Eubank blocks that with his right glove up top. Eubank's shuffling over to his left. Step into his left, not shuffling over. Nice jab lands for Conor Benn that time. Ben looking the more youthful, explosive fighter here in round 1. Just more pep in his step compared to Eubank, whose feet are a little flat. And Ben very lively with his feints right now. Jumps in with another jab. Eubank a little slow on the draw with his double jab counter. Ben threatening to jump in. Threatening to jump in with that right hand. He's able to jump in easier than he was to start fight 1. Sweeping right hand to the body by Ben with Eubank along the ropes. Eubank looking a little bit sluggish compared to the younger, fresh fighter right now in round 1. He's got to work his way into the fight, get that old engine turning, and let the jab start pumping with his timing. Because right now, right hand lands for Ben. He jumps in with a 1-2. Eubank felt it, trying to disguise it, but he felt it, and he holds Ben. Good right hand by Ben early there. Able to get off 2-1 against the older man. Good right hand back by Eubank at long range. Kept Ben on the end. Ben was a little too far out and ate a straight right hand off a touch jab by Eubank. So both fighters landing a right hand early and a little bit more tactical fight in round 1 right now than the first fight started. Now Eubank working his jab. 1-2 by Ben. Eubank has to dip down, clinch him, and then come back and punch with his right hand in the clinch. Up top. 50 seconds left in this opening round, competitive round 1. Ben dipping his knees down a lot. Bending his knees down, trying to feint to the midsection of Eubank. Eubank near the corner, shoots his jab. Ben comes back with his jab. They trade jabs. Ben getting the better of the jab that time. Eubank with his back near the ropes. Ben not jumping in as careless right now. Nice sweeping right hand to the body by Ben off a jab up top. Eubank ties him up on the inside, and they both work with a free right hand in the clinch. 20 seconds left in the round. Slight edge to Conor Benn this round. It's been a slight step ahead of Eubank. Just again, a little bit more pep in his step. Both had landed a good right hand this round. Ben a little bit more effective with the jab, jumping in behind it. Now a double jab by Eubank peppers Ben a little bit as Ben tried to jump in. Another little touch jab by Eubank. Eubank closing the round well with his jab. Good first round. I gave that first round to Conor Benn. Good first round. Eubank's got to let the young guy burn some energy and then get his timing down. Let that old engine kind of get some steam rolling. And then he can get the timing down again. But in round one, I think the youth and the speed and the energy of Conor took round one just by a little bit. Competitive round. They both landed a good right hand on each other about 15 seconds apart midway through the round. So 1-0 Ben. Let's see. Yep, Eubank in the corner. Got a great corner with him tonight. Let's see what happened. They traded right hands, and Ben got Eubank's legs to stiffen up a little bit. Back came Eubank 15 seconds later with that clean right hand at long range. Round two, here we go. Ben on the front foot again, shooting his jab, bending his knees up and down a little bit, using those knee bends as a feint to the midsection. And you know he wants to, at some point, do his bread and butter, launch a right hand over the top, but he wants to sell the midsection to Eubank a little bit first with those knee bends. Ben bending his knees too low, too far out of range. He's got to be close. They trade jabs there. Now Eubank peppers with his jab, hooks off the jab, straight right hand. Ben ducking underneath shots, but that right hand caught him on the top of the head a little bit. Eubank settling down a little bit now. Ties up Ben as Ben bores in with his jab, puts him into the corner, bullies Eubank into the corner there. Eubank, you could tell, a little weight drained at this weight. Ben keeping his hands up, feigning. Good jab lands for Ben, just off the mark with a right hand. Eubank has to hold again, almost tackles Ben to the canvas, but Eubank's legs are drained. They were drained in fight number one. They're not strong at this weight. He is weight drained. And now the referee giving them both a nice gentleman's lecture. Yeah, both of you, you've known each other since school, boys. May best man win. No dirty tactics. All right, back into the center of the ring. Here we go. 2 minutes left in the round. And again, Ben, slight advantage early, man. Just a little bit more pep in his step and athleticism. Eubank still trying to settle the fight down in there and pick him off. But he has to do it without strong legs. He did it in the first fight. Can he do it again tonight? Couple of body shots by Ben with Eubank leaned up against the ropes. He sweeps those shots. Didn't really dig him in, though, clean. Halfway through the round. Eubank is touching the ropes a lot. Nice, sharp, straight right hand by Conor Benn off the jab up top. Now, that was an educated shot by Ben. Double jab short for Eubank. He's struggling with the in and out athleticism of Ben right there to get the jab down. Ben is able to take a step out of range and make him fall short. Steps in range, lands his jab. 1-2 by Conor Benn. And Eubank is against the ropes and having to clinch more than he probably wants to early in this fight. Minute left in the round. Right now, it's still a Conor Benn round. Ben feigning, but weird feints. Feints from far out, more with his knees than with his hands, does Conor Benn do. But it's working. It's making Eubank have to second guess in time. When is Ben going to jump in? When's he going to step in with the jab or with a right hand? And Ben doing enough ball of motion movement, maneuvers, to make him have to second guess when he can time him, like he did in fight one. 30 seconds left in the round. Good jab by Ben. Ben is out jabbing Eubank because he's explosive with that first step jumping in range, and Eubank isn't able to catch him jumping back out of range. Ben is landing his jab a lot down not a lot, but he's landing it when he throws it. He's accurate with it right now. Lead left hook blocked for Eubank. Eubank looking a little less sure of himself down the stretch in the second round, like he knows he's got a fight on his hands. And that his legs aren't that good at this weight right now. Double jab by Eubank. Oh, check left hook by Eubank just off the mark, but he almost eats a right hand trying to sell out on that check left hook with his hands not up. 2-0 Conor Benn. It's looking good for Conor Benn early. It's looking good. Terrence Crawford is ringside, watching, looking scary and serious, and leather Yeah, Ben, right now it's Ben's superior youth athleticism bouncing his step. He's able to, Eubank isn't able to offset the youth and the athleticism with timing and knowing his distance right now. Ben has a better sense of his distance than he did in fight one. He's picking his spots better. Um, and yeah, he hasn't even really let go of too many wild Conor Benn right hands right now. He's keeping it by his standards sharp behind a jab, and just doing a good job with his game, bending his knees down like, oh, I'm going to go to your midsection with this jab. I'm going to go to the midsection with the jab. No, I'm going to take a step out. Now I'm taking a step in with a jab up top. And, he's doing a good job. Round 3, Ben picking his hands up on the front foot to start. Eubank shoots his jab, but Eubank's reflexes aren't good tonight. Eubank's reflexes aren't too good. His reactions aren't too good to Ben right now. And he looks a little concerned. That right hand, he knows that right hand could be coming any moment now. And his legs aren't fast enough to pull out of the way of it. And he jabs from his hip. So he's in a precarious position if this keeps up. 45 seconds into it, Ben being patient. Ben not just jumping in, giving Eubank something to counter. Ben is taking his time in the center of the ring and waiting for the right spot to take advantage of his speed. Minute into the third, not a lot happening to start the third round. Ben boxing with Eubank here. Maybe a little too much. Straight right hand of the body by Ben, almost countered by a right uppercut by Eubank. But again, Eubank's reaction times are slow to start this fight. Double jab to the body by Eubank, but he's worried about pulling out after that jab. Now Eubank steps in, they clinch. Ben is the stronger guy in there. Ooh, sweeping right hand in the clinch and a right uppercut in the clinch by Conor Benn as he bullies Eubank to the ropes. And again, Eubank's facial expression not as confident early as it was in fight 1. And Ben, meanwhile, more composed in fight number 2. Chopping right hand hits Ben on the top of the head as he tried to jump out of range. Now he resets in the center of the ring, measuring with his lead hand. Big, there's that first wild Conor Benn right hand, and it hits nothing but air. Falls short, but that was the first wild Conor Benn right hand. He's done a good job throwing it down the middle. He should just stick to that early and wait until Eubank is more, vulnerable to swing for the fences. Minute left in the round. Close round. Eubank has successfully slowed Ben down at least. Eubank takes a little sharp right hand of the body. Right uppercut countered by Chris Eubank. Good job. Ben getting Eubank cornered, jumps in with a 1-2 to the body, then tries to come up top, and Eubank does a nice little pull right uppercut counter in between shots that time. 30 seconds left in the round. Eubank might be on his way to winning his first. Good jab by Conor Benn. Ben needs to stick with that jab. Oh, counter left hook by Chris Eubank. Ben trying to follow up that jab with a clean 1-2 and a check left hook by Chris Eubank. Eubank's face, though, already a little bit reddened around and no effect with those clean right uppercut, clean left hook counter shots on Ben. Ben ate them just fine. And when Ben has landed on Eubank, it's affected him. So I gave this round to Eubank, 29-28, Conor Benn. Ben was a little too far out, got away from some of his tactics there. He needs to stay with the jab, let that be money, and with that jump-in jab he's been having. But that was a good round for Eubank. Eubank still looks sluggish and still doesn't look super comfortable or confident in there just yet. He did enough to win that round, though, on those 2 counters. So, 29-28, Conor Benn. Lorenzano, 36-13, says Eubank is just getting started. We'll see. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat, Roman the man. Appreciate that, brother. I don't know if it's Eubank's night tonight, judging from the first 3. I got Ben ahead. Eubank did win that last round, but I still don't love what I'm seeing. Those were a couple of sharp counters, though. So we'll see. Here we go, round 4, and we start. Every round starts with Ben on the front foot. They trade jabs. Good jab by both fighters to start. Ben trying to spring up after the jab. Ben just with more pep in his step tonight. He shoves Eubank off of him in the clinch. Eubank Misses his jab. Clinches. A lot of clinches tonight from Eubank. Ben trying to fight out of that clinch. Both roughhousing on the inside. Ben turns him and talks some shit as he pretends he's going to swing at the back of his head. Now they're back in the center of the ring. Ben kind of unsophisticated at long range. Doesn't really feint with his hands. He's predictable when he's going to jump in. He's gotten away from those knee bends that were actually working better than whenever he tries anything with his hands with his feint. Left hook, straight right hand by Ben. Eubank rolls it, but then a right hand to the body by Ben off a touch shot up top. And Eubank nods at Ben. DAZN has this 3-0 for Ben. I gave the last round to Eubank, but DAZN has a 3-zip for Conor Benn. Yeah, I don't know if Eubank got it tonight, man. In his legs, looks weight drained. He did in the first fight, too. They trade jabs. Good jab that time by Eubank. They trade jabs again. Eubank, though, off with a right hand over the top of the jab of Ben. Ben looking just more confident, has more energy, a little bit more ferocity and confidence in that ring right now. Right hand to the body for Conor Benn. Misses a right hand up top. 2 low blow counters by Chris Eubank. Referee tells him to keep it up. Back in the center of the ring. Ben mixing up looks, moving his head side to side. Picks the gloves up, drops the lead hand low. Puts his chin out over his foot a few times. Now he feints. Good jab by Ben. Jumped in with that jab and landed it. Eubank keeping his hands high, trying to search for something there. Doesn't seem to have the timing down. Oh, they trade right hands. Ben beats him to the punch. As they both opened up with right hands, Ben's got in there and he got his head off the line for the right hand that was coming back. He beat the older man to the punch. He's beating Eubank to the punch. Eubank was jabbing Ben's head off in the first fight. This time around, Ben able to jump in and out of range and having a little bit more explosiveness and speed and snap to him. He's beating him to the punch with the jab. Good right hand again to the body. Ben has thrown some good straight right hands to the body in this fight off his jab up top. Just missed with a right hand over the top of Eubank. Nice 1-2 to the body with about 13 seconds left in the 4th round by Ben. This is a Ben round. Eubank just sluggish. And doing a lot of dangerous step back counters where he's taking a step back to counter but leaving his body in no man's land kind of positions if the counter falls short and doesn't miss or if it's off the mark. So that's a Conor Benn round. I got it 39-37 for Conor Benn. People are saying set up for a trilogy that nobody asked for. We'll see. So far tonight, Conor Benn going back to the drawing board, making adjustments, better tactics, better IQ by Conor Benn, who clearly learned from his first time back in April. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr., Brian Bomac McIntyre in the corner. Surely they have to be searching for answers after a slow, porous start. But it was around this time, back in April, where Chris Eubank Jr. turned the fight around in his favor. I don't know if he can do it tonight. Here we go. Round 5. Ben on the front foot again. Eubank, his double jab hasn't been money tonight. It was money in April. It's been sluggish tonight. Ben gets Eubank in the corner. Eubank ties him up. A lot of ugly clinches by Eubank too, where he's clinching Ben in a position where Ben can lean on him. Good jab that time by Eubank though. Steps over to his left, gets effective jabs off that time. They trade jabs. That time Ben gets his jab in. Ben on the front foot. Feints. Double jab by Eubank. Keeps it in the center of the ring. 1-2 by Ben, but to the body. That straight right hand to the body has been a good shot for him in this fight. He's got to keep finding that home. Go, good right uppercut on the inside by Conor Benn. Eubank holding on, but Ben getting better leverage in the clinch on his punches. Ben looking confident, looking like it's his night. I don't know, man. Eubank wasn't ever really able to hurt Ben in the first fight. It looks like he's got less steam on his punches than he did then. Good jab lands for Ben. He misses the right hand and the left hook behind it, but he's starting to punch in combination now. Good jab by Eubank, but Ben resets right back on top of him. Shoots a right hand to the body, misses a left hook up top. Ben working up a head of steam on the front foot right now. Good jab by Ben. Steps into it. Steps into a jab to the body. Takes a quick step out of range. Resets. Bends his waist down. Catches a pawing jab by Eubank. Catches a 1-2 on the right glove by Eubank. Makes him reach with a left uppercut. Eubank not looking sharp on us, but good jab by Eubank that time. Eubank still got a good up jab, but not like in the first fight. He's always got a good up jab from his hip, but Ben with a little over a minute left in the fifth, winning this round right now. Right hand to the body by Ben again off that jab up top. Then he jabs Eubank up top again. Jab lands again for Ben, followed up by a right hand to the body. He's establishing off that jab up top and then knifing that right, not knifing, but landing that right hand to the body well. I like the jab from Ben tonight. Jumping into it at the right, good timing on it, knowing when to jump in. Because when you're a short guy jumping into your jab like Sean Porter used to do, Bradley, you got to have good timing. Good jump in jab again. And that jab is twisting around the chin of Eubank right now. Eubank's face is reddening. Again, that jab of Ben is becoming a weapon. It's beginning to, 1-2 by Ben. A counter right hand by Eubank, but Ben getting the better of the exchange. He can get off 2-1. He's the fresher, faster fighter. So Eubank trying to counter in between with a few right hands in that exchange and did land it, but Ben has more snap on his shots and can get off more 2 or 3-1 right now when they both open up. Eubank smile. They trade jabs. Ben has the better jab, and Ben smiles going back to his corner. Eubank is a game veteran, got a lot of pride, knows he's got 7 long rounds in front of him. He's going to try to steer this ship the right direction, but it's Ben tonight. This is Ben's fight. Thank you for the super chat, Steve Santiago. Appreciate it, brother. Seems like Eubank is a little timid going in. He's a little, he was flat in the first fight. It's just Ben couldn't really take advantage of it. He's even flatter this time, and Ben is a little bit better. Eubank is a little even more flat than the first fight, and Ben is fighting a little smarter than he did the first fight. That's the difference. Yeah, it's that jab. They're replaying the jab for Conor Benn repeatedly on the telecast. He's jab's becoming a weapon. It's busting up. It's starting to bust up open Eubank's face a little bit. I think blood's gonna start coming soon if Ben keeps landing that jab. Round 6. Here we go. I got it 4-1 for Conor Benn. 49-46. This is why I didn't go on the record with a prediction before the fight. I didn't feel strongly one way or the other. Right before the bell rang, edge to Eubank, but right now it's looking like Conor Benn's fight. They're trading jabs, and there's now they exchange right there, and Ben quicker with his head movement, getting underneath shots and then finishing to the body there. I'd be surprised, actually, if Eubank changed the momentum of this fight around. Ben hasn't burned up as much energy in the first half of the fight as he did the first time. Although right there, he eats a right hand and swings and misses with 3 punches in return. Hits air there, does Conor Benn. Minute into the 6th. Eubank still, nice double jab by Eubank. Backs Conor off of the ropes. Good right hand landed by Eubank. Ate a stiff jab though, and it looked like he reacted worse to the jab than Ben did to the right hand. Referee breaks him up. Eubank showing some signs of life though. Back near on the ropes. Good right hand to the body by Ben. Good to go back to that shot. That straight right hand to the body's been effective for him. You got to keep going back to it. Gets underneath a couple of left hooks. Eubank lets go and rips a combination, but Ben slips underneath 3 or 4 shots and then does a quick spit out the side of the mouth as if to say that wasn't shit. So you saw Eubank plant his feet and throw a combination there and rip there, and there just wasn't that much oomph on the punches. But this is a close round. Ben has been nullified a little bit this round, has been kept on the outside, has eaten some shots. None of it has really affected him whatsoever, but he hasn't been as effective offensively. There's a strong jab by Conor Benn, catching Eubank taking a step in at the wrong time. Good left hook to the body by Conor Benn. 50 seconds left in the round. Eubank gliding along the ropes, and now Ben pulls his head down to the canvas. Eubank looking a little bit tired, returning to his feet after having to pick himself off the canvas. 40 seconds left in the 6th. And Eubank just looks sluggish, man. Eubank is cornered. Benn, though, won't let go of that missile right hand. Now he lets go of it over the top. Eubank dips his body away from it. Nice jab to the body by Benn. Eubank stepping back near the ropes. Again, Benn is shooting his jab with power, like a shotgun jab, and he's shooting an up jab with good snap on it every time. Eubank flails with a right hand to the body and a left hook and misses with about 12 seconds left in the round. Ugly combination attempt by Eubank. Eubank falls short with a lead left hook and his jab. Yep, and that does it. Closer round for Eubank, but I think Conor Benn still won that round. I got it 5 rounds to 1, 59-55. Yeah, thank you, Marcellus with the 717. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. I appreciate that. We're up to 400 people watching now. We're halfway through the fight. Conor Benn, just the younger man, the fresher man, more bounce in his step, more snap and steam on everything he throws, and he's actually out jabbing Eubank this time because Eubank can't keep up with the foot speed and the in and out of Conor Benn and just the overall ball of athleticism and youth. So 59-55 Benn right now. Gemro, Eubank kind of looked like this in the first fight. He only looked a little bit better in the first fight. He was weight drained in the first fight. He had a little bit more in the tank. He did. But that's part of why, if you were picking Benn, this was part of why. Is Eubank left a lot in the tank, lot in the ring in that first fight. So Eubank tying up to start. Ben's got so much better body language right now than Eubank at this stage in the fight. And DAZN has it a clean sweep, 6-0. I gave Eubank the third, but DAZN has it a clean 6-0. So, left hook for Eubank lands, but Benn walks right through it and loads up on 2 or 3 left hooks of his own. Eubank ties him up in another clinch. Eubank doing a lot of clinching and should probably be warned at this point for clinching. I think a warning is in favor here. They trade jabs in the center of the ring. Benn feigning, bouncing, eats a jab by Eubank, shoots a straight right hand over the top. Big combination by Benn. Eubank does seem to be waiting on. It's kind of smart by Eubank. Eubank realizes he's too fast. Good left hook lands for Eubank off the ropes. What Eubank is now looking to capitalize on is Benn getting overzealous. He's husbanding his strength. Eubank is. He's keeping his energy in reserve, waiting for the moment where Benn gets overzealous and tries to make a go in for the kill kind of moment. And Eubank is keeping just enough in his tank to try to have enough in the tank to have to turn Benn thinking he's going to have a big moment in this fight into his big moment with a counter. So that's what I see Eubank trying to do. He seems to be assessing that he can't win round for round, punch for punch like he did in the first fight. And his best bet now is to use his experience, manage his way through these rounds and wait for the right moment to take advantage of something happening. So that's what I see happening with Eubank right now in the 7th. But Benn is still getting off first, still the fresher, faster fighter, still able to get off first when he wants to. They're in the center of the ring. Eubank with his craftiness, slowing the fight down. Eubank slowing the fight down, but not able to swing momentum. Nice check left hook by Eubank, making Benn reach with a right hand of the body. You can see the veteran experience just trying to think his way through this. And he's still countering now. He's still countering Benn, letting him know he's dangerous. 20 seconds left in the round. Not a great round for Conor Benn. Eubank doing enough to stave him off, to keep himself in the fight. Oh, big 1-2 by Conor Benn. Knocks Eubank's head up. Eubank comes back with a right hand and nods his head. But that was a huge 1-2 by Conor Benn. Landed clean and explosive. Eubank showing a decent chin there. Conor Benn talking shit to him. Conor Benn talking a lot of shit. He feels like he has got this in the bag. And that's a Conor Benn round. Another round for Conor Benn. I don't think Eubank just ain't got it, chat. Conor Benn's about to win this. Yeah, that was a big one, too. Knocked his head clean up. Yeah, Bomac can't get in there and fight for him, man. What you're seeing is age, weight cut, and just a guy who has a lot of these flaws anyways. Eubank has always... Sean Porter says he fights like a guy who's athletic but he isn't that athletic. He fights like he's Roy Jones and can get away with his hands down and pulling out of range, but you know, he puts himself in a lot of precarious defensive positions. So I've never heard Sean be so biased like today. Ysidro, who am I being biased towards? I don't think that... I'm curious, Ysidro. Who's the bias for? Anybody with two eyes could see Conor Benn's winning this fight. So 6-1 for Conor Benn right now. Eubank just don't got his legs underneath him. Conor Benn dipping down real low, bending down. 1-2 by Conor Benn, and he cleans up with the hook this time. And not worried about what was coming back on the Eubank counter. He cleaned up with the hook because he didn't give a shit if he ate the right hand in between that time. Maybe Benn feels even less steam coming out of Eubank's punches, and he'll follow up with take more and more chances and impose himself with more combinations here. Let's see. 2 minutes left in the round. Benn in complete control now in the 8th. Eubank, right hand, left hook, misses the left hook, landed the right hand, but nothing on it. Benn punching with bad intentions. Eubank ties him up again. Eubank should really be warned for the clinching a round or two ago. But power shots landed through 7 rounds. 45 for Conor Benn to just 18 for Eubank. 27 body shots for Conor Benn to just 3 for Eubank. And again, 1-2 to the body by Conor Benn. That right hand, straight right hand to the body has been money. Halfway through the 8th, another Conor Benn round. Now at this point, it's like, all right, you got a drained fighter in front of you who can't hurt you. The nice 1-2-3 by Conor Benn. Eubank, his legs ain't really underneath him. He clinches Benn again, and now Eubank, looking up at the scoreboard, is going to get a timeout now for his mouthpiece being out. The question now is, can Benn impose himself and stop Eubank? I don't see Eubank having the steam in his legs and in his punches to turn this thing around. Can Benn get a stoppage? Can he save us from an unnecessary trilogy? Minute left in the round. Benn winning this round. Eubank seems to know it just ain't his night at this point right now. Eubank in the corner. 1-2 to the body by Conor Benn again. Eubank too slow on the left hook return. Eubank hasn't been able to stay in the center of the ring much of the night. Right uppercut, left hook, right hand by Eubank. All kind of tired shots without snap and speed on them and velocity. Nice dip, nice slip counter there by Conor Benn. Couldn't get in the counter shot clean, but nice slip and then boom, boom, 2-piece in close range off that slip counter by Conor Benn. Referee wants to give another lecture. Okay, boys, listen. We're in the 8th round. It's been a good fight. Chris Eubank, don't get mad. Don't be a poor sport, because Conor's winning tonight. All right, box. And they resume the action. Here we go. Back comes Eubank with his best 1-2s of the fight. And Benn just walks through him, resets right back on top of him. But Eubank, crafty enough to come out of that referee instruction with a couple of 1-2s and backed Conor Benn up. Still thought that was a Benn round. 79-73 for Conor Benn. So, yep. Hey guys, that's been the highlight of the fight, right? This has been the horrible British accent in spots. Chris Eubank Jr. really not looking himself. His father, you could see the competitive trying to will his son to change the current. Chris Eubank Sr. looks a little pissed, like, God damn it. Yeah, Chris Eubank Sr. looked pissed. He don't, you know. He's not like Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn, more down-to-earth type dude. He's like, hey, it's not our night. It's not our night. But Chris Eubank, you could tell he hates losing a little bit more. Good 1-2s by Chris Eubank Jr. down the stretch of that round. Maybe that won him the round, chat. So it could be 6-2. It could be 6-2. All right, round 9. Nice jab by Conor Benn to start, and then he rips a straight right hand to the body. That's how he starts the round, blocks what's coming back in return. Benn moving his head, and Frampton has this 8-zip. All Conor Benn. Nice sweeping right hand to the body for Conor Benn. Now Eubank lands a jab. Eubank stepping over to his left. Nice jab. 1-2 by Conor Benn. Eubank's hurt. But Eubank, oh man, shakes it off. Good recovery. That 1-2 shook Eubank up. Hard 1-2. Sharp 1-2 by Conor Benn right there. Conor Benn fighting a good fight, chat. When he goes, if he could make 147, I don't know if he could really make 147 anymore. Oh, good combination by Eubank. A hard right hand landed on the chin of Conor Benn that time. Eubank flailing almost forward with a left hook, right hand, but that right hand crashed on Benn's chin. Eubank still shooting some right hands on the ropes. Hard left hook to the body by Conor Benn. Made Eubank retreat to the ropes to get out of the way of a right hand. Eubank overshoots the right hand. Benn dips down, ties him up, keeps him pinned along the ropes. Minute 40 left in the ninth. Eubank has been having a little bit of life with some right hands here and there, but it's still Conor Benn landing the harder shots, having steam on his shots. 1-2 by Conor Benn shoves Eubank into the corner. Eubank counters with a sweeping right hand, kind of ugly in transitions there in between exchanges. Middle of the ring, Eubank picks that hand up, picks it up from his hip, shoots the jab. Nice check left hook by Eubank as he takes a step out of range. Eubank threatening with the right hand over the top, makes Benn take a step out. Eubank getting a little bit creative with his offense, getting a little bit of a rhythm in the center of the ring, pulls out of range, leans on the ropes, flails out of the way of a 1-2, steps over to his left, ups the jab right there. So Eubank trying to get creative, trying to find something there in the center of the ring. 45 seconds left. Eubank, lead hand low, keeps Benn at bay. Now he's retreating into the corner almost. Back touches the rope, steps over to his left, steps over to his right, tries that lead Roy Jones left hook, misses wide with it, can't land it. Benn steps back in with a right hand to the body, jab to the body by Benn. Benn got to, stick with his tactics. Don't forget about that straight right hand to the body. Don't forget about that jab up top. Gets away from it. They exchange. Nice combination by Eubank, but Benn defensively responsible. Catches some of those shots on the gloves. And that's going to do it for the ninth. Nice jab to the body by Conor Benn. That'll do it for the ninth round. I got it, 8-1, 7-2 for Conor Benn. He's on his way to winning the fight. Sean, can you do Max Kellerman impression of who's winning the story of the fight? I think it's been clear since the first round, Jim, that Conor Benn is the more explosive fighter. Eubank, in the first time around, was able to counteract that with his superior skill and experience. That hasn't been the case tonight. Conor Benn has been better tonight. I don't know. I don't think that was a particularly good Max. Max would be Floyd Mayweather. That'd be Max. But, yeah, that was a big 1-2 early in the ninth by Conor Benn. Here we go, round 10 now. About to start. So, oh, wow. Chat seems to think that was a decent Max. I didn't think it was that good, but all right, here we go, round 10. And, yeah, Conor, let's see if Eubank lets it all hang out, whatever's left there. Round 10, Eubank. Nice up jab. Nice left hook by Chris Eubank off the jab. Conor Benn better stay smart. Nice sharp right hand to the body, though, by Conor Benn off the jab up top. That's been money for him tonight. Jab up top, straight right hand to the body. He hasn't attempted too many crazy jackhammer Conor Benn right hands over the top tonight, and he's been better served for it. But I kind of miss it. I'm not going to lie. I want to see it. I want to see it in the last 3 rounds. I want to see the crazy Conor Benn right hand. Fuck that. Throw that shit. 45 seconds into it, Benn and Eubank posing at each other in the center of the ring. Benn dropping his lead hand, feigning, going feint for feint. Double jab, little double jab to the body by Eubank. Eubank trying to set up that little left hook in between, the mid-range distance. Trying to pepper that jab out there just enough to make Benn bite on it and then catch him with the left hook. Benn is, to his credit, showing enough IQ to be weary of that. And that's why his pace is slow to start the 10th round. He saw that left hook still had some snap on it, some deceptive snap on it by Eubank. 1-2 by Benn, and he gets his head underneath the return shots. Nice 1-2 by Benn. Benn throws a really nice 1-2 when he jumps into it and explodes into it. Jabs to the chest by Eubank. Benn waiting for his next time to launch. Being smart. Right hand to the body by Conor Benn again. Not forcing it up top. Just stabbing with that straight right hand to the body all night long. Nice 1-2-3 to the body and the chest by Conor Benn. Not good tactics by Benn. Knowing that Eubank is waiting on him to get overzealous up top and run him into some type of counter. So just keeps hitting the midsection. Minute left in the 10th round. Nice jab by Eubank, but then he flails with a 2-piece after that and eats a jab on his way out that lifts his chin up. 50 seconds left in the round. Benn managing his energy wisely here. 1-2. He falls in with that shot a little bit. Gets countered by a right uppercut by Eubank, but nothing's on it, so it doesn't matter. Nice right hand to the body again by Benn, and that time he took an angle on that body shot. He held his ground in the pocket, moved his head, and then let Eubank move into the shot as he pivoted to his right. Chopping right hand by Benn lands in between punches in the center of the ring. Nice up jab by Benn. Another up jab by Benn. Eubank stepping over to his left. Near the corner now. Sweeping right hand to the body by Benn. And a right hand up top. Eubank slips underneath and holds for a second. 10 seconds left in the round. And Eubank off the mark. Shoots a combination at the bell. Good combination at the bell by Eubank, but not accurate enough. And that'll do it. That was another Benn round. There's no way Benn doesn't have this fight won on the cards already. Even if you were being ridiculously generous to Chris Eubank Jr., if you were being just stupid generous, that ship just sailed. Because if you were being stupid, illogically generous to Eubank Jr. and you gave him 3 rounds out of the first 9, he just clearly lost the 10th. So it's 7-3. Even if you're trying to fuck Conor Benn, it's 7-3. I have not heard of Rush Hour Boxing, Philip Fry. Sean, can you do Harold Letterman? Oh, that's easy. Okay, chat. At least 7 rounds to 3. And that's only, Jim, that's only if you're trying to fuck Conor Benn blind. Jim, I gotta tell you something. Conor Benn has out-jabbed Chris Eubank Jr. and his straight right hand to the body has been money. He hasn't been able to land that right hand up top the way he's wanted to. And really, Jim, this hasn't been as good a fight as the first one. But any way you slice it, 98-92, Conor Benn. Thank you, Harold. And again, we'll see if Eubank can make an adjustment here. But increasingly, Roy Jones, it just doesn't look like that's the case. No, Jim, he just don't really have his legs underneath him tonight. So anyway, let's go. Yeah, and really, this is the way I thought the fight would play out. Eubank Jr. left too much in the ring that first fight. And Conor Benn, he just had to be a little bit smarter. The youth is too much for him tonight. Okay, Emmanuel. Teddy Atlas. All right. I don't know, Teddy. No, but what you saw from Benn tonight, you saw a fighter that went back to the drawing board. He knew he had to get better. He knew he had to get better. And Eubank Jr., all respect to him, he didn't have it in the tank tonight. He didn't have it tonight, Joe. He had it the first time. There's only so many times you can go to that well. And now Eubank Jr., he's looking up at the clock. He's not trying to win anymore, Joe. He's just trying to hold on to his pride and not get knocked out. Not get knocked out! But Conor Benn, all right, I'm done. All right. So, yeah, Eubank Jr. looking up at the clock now. Minute 40 left in the 11th. He's tired. Just wants to make it to the final bell, it looks like. But for Conor Benn, hey, man, step it up. I get it. It's tough. You don't want to. It's a crafty vet. naturally bigger man. You don't want to get overzealous when the fight seems to have been won. But if you want to make a statement, if you're Conor Benn, because right now the narrative's going to be, that second fight kind of sucked. Conor Benn, cool. If Conor Benn could stop him in the next 4 minutes, then Conor Benn is a guy you want to watch against Ryan and Barrios winner, against Brian Norman, Haney winner. But the way it's going now, good little win by Conor Benn. That's where we're headed. Minute left in the ninth. Benn is just a step ahead. Benn, step on the gas, man. Step on the gas. The man is tired. You know what? I need to go Emmanuel Stewart on Lennox Lewis in the Mike Tyson fight on Conor Benn. Step it up, man. You got a dead man in front of you, and you still doing it. Man, let the right hand go. Knock it off. The man is finished. That wasn't a good Emmanuel, but that was a good reference. That's what I feel like telling Conor Benn right now. I feel like going Emmanuel Stewart in the Lennox Tyson fight right now. Step it up. The man is finished. And you still over here. You got a dead man in front of you. Man, let that shit go. That's what Emmanuel said. All right, 20 seconds left. Eubank finishing. Yeah, Eubank, pursuing, gets thrown to the canvas. He's just weak. He got nothing in his legs tonight. So, all right. At least we don't got to see Canelo Eubank right now. Yes, thank God. Look, I love Canelo. But he's kind of going to be going out sad. He ducked Benavidez to lose to Crawford, and then I think he's going to lose to Shiraz. I think that'll be his final act as a Riyadh season fighter. Sad way to go out, but I still love Canelo. But I got to keep it real. He's going out a little sad, chat. Come on, a little sad. All right. So... All right. That's all the impressions I got. I got to quit while I was ahead. You're blowing it, kid. You're blowing it. Nah, Bomac can probably see from his fighter. He ain't got it tonight. Eubank knew early on, as early as the first round, you could see it from fighters. He could see he didn't have the reaction times that the younger, fresher Benn had. And that it was gonna be an uphill climb tonight. He didn't have enough in the tank. All right, last round. I wouldn't hold my breath. I'd like to see Conor Benn press his advantage here and not just be content to win the fight. I get it. I definitely get it. If I was him, that might be what I do. But as the viewer, the audience, I'd like to see him, go for it this round and not just be happy to have the fight in the bag. So. Eubank is throwing punches in the first 30 seconds. He's giving Conor Benn an opportunity. Eubank seems to be saying, let's go, bro. Let's give them what they want in this last 3 minutes. This fight sucked compared to our first fight. Let's give them what they were looking for in this last round. And Benn right now is fighting smart. 1-2 by Benn in the top. Still explosive. Eubank should have got a point deducted for clinching at some point in this fight. Benn. Lead hand down. Now Benn is taking half steps back. And that's what I mean. I get it. He's setting something up. But I want to feel like you're going for the stoppage here in the 12th round, Conor Benn. Conor Benn trying to sneak in a right uppercut. I mean, he's going to throw some bombs this round. But I want a sustained effort. This man is tired. This man is staying in front of you. He ain't even trying to survive. He's giving you a chance. And you're over here poking and prodding. Halfway through the round, Benn's not going for it. He's got the fight won, but he ain't going for it in the 12th. Eubank, to his credit, is kind of going for it. 1-2 by Conor Benn. Eubank counters with a right hand. Eubank staying in the kitchen. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's give them what they want in the last 90 seconds. You're not going to do it. So, Conor Benn, this is where Jim Lampley would realize it ain't happening, and Jim would just start launching into the narrative. He'd be like, so tonight, I'm not going to do Jim. He'd be like, so tonight, it was expected that Chris Eubank Jr. was the favorite again, slight favorite, clearly won their first fight, came in with an air of superiority and confidence that he would do it. 1-2, and down goes Eubank. Down goes Eubank. I spoke too soon. 1-2, Eubank, legs not underneath him. Now it's time for Conor Benn. He's got 40 seconds to go for the stoppage. Eubank went down on a 1-2. Legs not underneath him. Benn lands a jab. He's got 35 seconds to work with. Eubank bouncing around, ties up on the ropes. Lead left hook lands for Benn. Sweeping right hand, right uppercut, combination. Eubank holding on. Right uppercut lands. 20 seconds left. Eubank completely out on his feet. Right hand lands, another right hand lands. Eubank down again. Chopping right hands. Send him to the canvas. He's going to make it to the final bell, though. 5, 6, 7, and that'll do it. And that's it. Two knockdowns in the 12th round for Conor Benn. Punctuate this. Eubank stands in the center of the ring, wanting some kind of acknowledgement, but Conor Benn, he's gotten the revenge. His pops looks very happy. Yep, Conor Benn did the damn thing. Pretty dominant. I thought he won 11 rounds. Maybe 10. I'm not mad if you thought he won all 12 with the 2 knockdowns. So those 2 knockdowns, they did a little bit to spice up the win. Because without the knockdowns, this was just going to be, well, that rematch kind of sucked and, cool, Conor Benn won. But now with a couple of knockdowns, give people on social media a couple of highlight reel clips to look at. And now it's upgraded for Conor Benn. Not as sexy as a knockout would have been, obviously, but good win by Conor Benn. If Conor Benn can make it to 147 and be 100% still, I like him at 147 in a lot of matchups. I'm not meaning I like him to win, but I like him as he's a good fighter to be in a lot of fights with the champions at 47. So finally, a Benn will beat a Eubank. And now Conor goes over to Eubank. And they're exchanging some words. I don't know, Benn, I don't know what they're saying, obviously, but let's hear it for a second. What a masterpiece by Benn. Masterpiece is a bit strong. He fought a good fight. He fought better than he did. Maybe I'm being a dick. By his standards, it probably was a masterpiece. He had Bomac in the opposite corner, a man who handily beat him the first time. I didn't really think it was a masterpiece. I thought he just fought better, but I didn't think it was a masterpiece. He made some adjustments. He was more comfortable under the bright lights on this big stage. And his athleticism and youth against a weight-drained 36-year-old allowed him to be a step ahead. I don't think he dramatically improved. I think he fought with a little bit better IQ, for sure. And he was in against a guy who was pretty flat. I mean, Canelo would have knocked Eubank out inside of 5 rounds tonight, I think. So, what the fuck fight did this guy watch? I don't know what you're talking about, man. The fight that just happened? The fight that Conor Benn won 10 or 11 or maybe even 12 rounds with? But I didn't think it was a masterpiece. Masterpiece is Crawford Spence or Hopkins Trinidad or Inoue against Stephen Fulton. This was a good performance. So, yeah, it's a good performance. And if Benn can get down to 47, he's a contender. 54, nah. If he has to fight the best at 54, I don't think he's beating those guys. But 47, if he can maintain and not be weakened now, dropping back down to that weight, I love him in all those fights. So, great call as always, Sean. Thank you, Taxi Coast. Appreciate it, brother. For Benn, maybe a masterpiece. Right, Weedy, maybe. Oh, Philip Fry, got you, yeah. Boots, flatlines, Benn, yes. Although, that's why they fight the fights. Like, who has Boots fought with Benn's level of athleticism and confidence and ferocity? Nobody. So, you never know. Benn's not a chump. I'm not hating on Benn here. He's not a chump. Got a lot of fighting spirit to him. Fights with ferocity. And a very good athlete. But yeah, I think Boots would beat him. I think Virgil would kill him. Yo, I know Canelo felt my power. I got you, boxing. 97-41. Ben already said he can't make 147. Ysidro, he's fighting at 154. Okay, thanks for... Ben already said he can't make 47. Got you, Ysidro. Well, I don't know, man. I don't like his chances at 54 against the champions. Yeah, Boots is overrated. Guys get too much credit for damn near making it to 30 without testing themselves. I hear you, but crazy talent. Anyway, Conor Benn, it's official now. He gets the unanimous decision, atones for his pops. Good stuff for Conor Benn, man. Good stuff. He got caught cheating, but I think a lot of them cheat. He just actually got caught. So he had to wear that. I asked him a bunch of hard questions about it last year when he fought Pete Dobson here in Vegas. He took it like a man. Eddie Hearn took it like a man. He took his first loss to Eubank like a man. And now he has his moment. Good for Conor Benn. Good fighter, explosive, athletic fighter, if not the most skilled fighter. And a fighter with a lot of balls and heart. So good for Conor Benn. He gets his moment. I am mad at him. Yep, exactly, Maria. Good for Conor Benn. I am mad at him. So, do 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 doom doom do 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 doom 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 do 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 doom doom. Not mad at Conor Benn. All right, well, why is Bomac smiling so hard in the background? Because he just got paid and Crawford still beat Canelo. So Eddie Hearn's gonna be talking the most shit. He's going to be talking more shit than Conor and Nigel. Gemro said, good win, even though Eubank malnourished. Well, he was malnourished in the first fight, but even more so this fight. And I think the first fight took something out of him. He had nothing left after going to the well in fight number 1. He'll get sparked out if he goes to 68 and fights the top dogs there. He gets knocked spark out. But he did a good job first fight. And he showed his heart. Eubank showed his heart again. He showed his heart in both fights. He was running out the clock down the stretch of this fight. Legs were done. Got dropped twice. Got his ass up like a man and finished the fight on his terms. So give credit to both. But now, okay, now I can pop my shit. Now everybody's saying this fight sucked. I said it was overrated in April. Okay, but it was a good fight. And they did leave it all in the ring. And I am sitting here talking shit. So, salute to them. But I did say that it was all kind of overrated. And tonight, now everybody's saying, you know what, I'm going to go the other direction. No. It was a good fight. Now everybody else can shit on the matchup and I can praise it. I like working like that. So now Eubank and Ben come to the center of the ring. I'm sure they're mates now. Wait. Eubank Jr. taking his loss like a man. Credit to him. And now this is a humbling moment for Eubank Jr. He's got to come back down to earth. He felt like, I'm self-actualized. I've made more money than my dad is. The pivotal fight in my career, yeah, it may not have been a title fight, but I won it. And I won it handily and in inspiring fashion, running on fumes, weight drained. But now, Eubank's back down to earth. So, but in this whole saga with Conor Benn, I think he's won some people over in his home country, which is all that really matters to these two, is the UK's perception of them. And people in America will never really give a shit about Chris Eubank Jr., but he's won over his people back home in the UK with the guts he displayed in these two fights. I think, they think different. They look at him differently now than they did before this Conor Benn saga. And Conor Benn too, now he can kind of move on with his career after he paid his due. He got his ass kicked in the first fight. He got slapped with an egg. He got suspended. He got grilled by the great SZ stateside here in Las Vegas. Now we could just let Conor Benn live his life and move on with his career. And he's got some exciting matchups in front of him. So they both helped their reputations by fighting one another. So good for them. Let's see. Who are they trying to call into the ring now? But yeah, I will be live with the Top Rank card later tonight, for sure. I give Ben a great chance with anyone at 154. I got him as an underdog against the field. He ain't beating Fedora to me. He ain't beating Boots or Virgil. He's not beating Bakram, and I got Xander beating him as well. I got Xander beating him. So yeah, the way he manages distance, I don't think is gonna translate against those guys. Like it worked. It was just enough tonight against a fighter of Eubank's caliber who was weight drained. Like the way his feint is like bending his knees and getting low from far out. And I get it. You got to do what works for you. He can't go in there and try to be like Usyk with his feints. He can't try to be like Floyd with his feints. Or he's got to do what works for Conor Benn. And it was effective tonight. But I just think the way he manages distance, it's not going to work against bigger guys. Bigger guys are going to take advantage with him off the jab like Eubank did in the first fight. And he's gonna get counterpunched because he jumps in with everything behind his shots, and the way he times up when to do those spurts, I don't think there's enough nuance to it to beat the champions at 54. But he's very athletic and has big balls, so maybe so. Uptown Jim Brown, thank you, brother. Said excellent commentary, Sean. Appreciate it. Thank you, my man. I do want a Disney coffee, Sammy. I do. My man FMG Films, thank you for the super chat, says, Sean, what's good, brother? Hope all is well. Apologies if this has been asked already, but what do you see as the most interesting fight on Saudi next week? Oh, Haney Norman. Haney and Norman is the best fight for the rest of the year. I mean, how often do we get, I get it, the Ryan Garcia thing, but on paper, how often do we get a 26 and a 24-year-old undefeated American champions in their athletic primes fighting each other? You know, Devin Haney has won 5 titles in 2 weight classes and is the youngest undisputed lightweight champion in the world in the history of the 4-belt era, and he's the underdog. He's the slight underdog to Brian Norman. So I can't wait for that fight. I could see Haney outboxing Norman, but I think, I don't know, Norman's got a momentum he's got heading into this fight. He's an underrated athlete, and his skill set is improving. And I'm leaning towards Norman, but I think that's going to be definitely the fight of the night. Not even necessarily action-wise. It's going to be hard to top whatever Bam and Puma are about to produce. Bam and Martinez and Abdullah and Noakes, all of those fights on paper are more action fights than Haney and Norman. Haney and Norman's going to be more of a chess match, but I think it's going to be the most interesting fight of the night. And I think Benavidez, Yard, I think the other three, it might have the least amount of pure action and violence out of the 4 fights, but I think it's going to have the most suspense and kind of the highest stakes of all the fights. I think Benavidez stops Yard in 10. I think Mason stops Noakes, and I think Bam beats Martinez. You can't pick against Bam. It's Haney and Norman, the one that I hesitate with. The other 3, no hesitation. Benavidez, Bam, Abdullah Mason. Haney and Norman's 50-50. And again, even though it might produce the least amount of pure violence, I think it's going to be high-speed chess. It's going to be ebb and flow. There's going to be suspense in that fight, and there's going to be a sense of stakes in that fight as 2 undefeated American champions fight each other in their physical athletic prime. I can't wait. So thank you for the super chat. Yeah, Top Rank card. Let me see. Top Rank streaming at the small screens of your city's local gas station pumps. No, they're not, because only major networks stream on those gas pumps, Palm Tree. So that would mean Top Rank is still on ESPN or something, which they are not. All right, let me see. It's on Tubi, right? Where to watch Divino Espinosa. Where are we at? We'll be straight line on the Top Rank streaming options. Okay, Tubi. I think I got Tubi. Tubi.com. Bam, a bum? No, that guy, boxing analyst is trolling. Don't let him troll you. Bam, he is just trolling us, chat. All right. Oops. Boxing. Damn, they got top rank fights. They got top rank classics, huh? Damn, I've been sleeping on Tubi, chat. You got some good shit on here. Right now, they're playing Trinidad versus Oscar. They got Tony versus McCallum, too, coming up next. Oh, Lord. All right, so Espinosa Kamagai starts at 5. Let's meet back here at 5, chat. I am going to take a little break, chill, eat something, and then I'll check back in right here at... Man. All right, let me see the full card, goddammit. Chat, if I go live at 5, you have to help me kill time. You have to throw topics my way, because it's rough to have to commentate an entire card starting at 5 through 8:30. Let me see here. What's the full card? I just want to I want to just stream when we got Emiliano, Divino, and Richard Torres. I really don't want to start earlier than that, but we might have to. Let me see. Hold on, chat. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. So I'm just looking at, hold on, the full, which arena in Mexico is it in tonight? Is it in Cancun? No. Nope. It's not going to be in Jalisco, but I'll check. Okay, running out of options here. Man, where the fuck are you fighting at in Mexico, Divino? I give up. I'm going back to Espinosa's box rec, and we'll take it from there. All right. Ah, San Luis. Okay, I clicked on it earlier and forgot. Okay. Oh, so Lindolfo Delgado. That's a okay. Okay. All right. Oh, you know what? All right. Julian Montalvo is a really good prospect. Delgado's a legit guy at 140. He's in the rankings. All right, we could do the full card, chat. We'll suck it up and do the full card. I'll be back at 5. 5 o'clock West Coast time. All right, chat? Please. Please. Join. All right.